blue side, Selangor Red Giants on the red.
Straight off into the game we go here. For Selangor Red Giants, they've conquered the Sky Kings in the group stages. Now sitting on their throne, they challenge the gods of the game.
And honestly, if they are going to challenge the gods of the game, this is a particularly interesting way of doing so, right? Again, how we're going to expect to see Selangor Red Giants to attack Falcons AP.Bren is winning out on these lanes and maybe setting up some dive opportunities. So Falcons AP.Bren, they're great at responding.
We were talking about earlier, right, in the drafts, about Selangor Red Giants towards the ending of the drafts. They really didn't have any prio, and that's why I think, even though it's greedy, the CC pick is great, because it does give him the prio in lane up against Flapteezy, and this is something you want to try to utilize. That's the reason Liquid Echo were able to beat them in the grand finals, having a winning lane, but Flapteezy wants to change that, has the shadow kill, the Purify gets pulled out there, Cram gonna be solo kill up top, assassinated. Skies looking for a play, time for the Blaze with the Retribution, Daddy comes down, over to Flapteezy, goes for the Blaze, but Kyle takes him out with the Shurikens.
It's too fast, too quick. Falcons AP.Bren with the help of Ogwen to speed up Flapteezy's farm. Hits that level 4 and an awkward timing, and honestly the most critical timing for the EXP laners. With that being said, Flapteezy is going to get a free recall off of this, and Sky slowed down on his farm. Not exactly the most ideal, especially costing 2 kills. That's a lot of gold for Kyle so early on.
Definitely not, man. The fact that Flapteezy on a Hayabusa has 2 kills, a level lead already, right before the turtle even spawns. You would expect SRG with the CC in lane to have more prio for the turtle, but now that he's been taken down, now that Few can walk up and pop in and then has Chain and knock him up and even zone him away. The missiles too, Crab brought back, no Purify. Falcons AP.Bren, they'll be happy just with that trade.
This is really good stuff from the side of Falcons AP.Bren, right? Stormy is here to kind of help recover Cram's lane, but at the same time, he's leveled down, and Flapteezy, as well as Few, making sure that he's not going to be able to participate for the upcoming fight, even setting up the proxy.
This is what's great about Falcons AP.Bren, right? The fact that even when they have prio, they don't rush into neutral objectives. They still take their time, go for the buffs, get Flapteezy in a more comfortable spot. And now they have the level 4 advantage. Skies going in, not able to get in there in time. Denton is well good to predict his goals. Stunned up, pinned down on the wall for Kyle to take him out. 3-0 start for the Hayabusa.
Great hit with the Daytona's welcome. They didn't give them a single frame so that he could use the Tempest of Blades. Chain CC perfectly. This is why they are the final boss. It feels unfair. They always play pixel perfect.
Feels very unfair, it seems. But, I mean, we saw in an interview what Flapteezy said literally boils down to, I'm better. We're better on the macro, we're better on the micro, is what he said in the interview.
Every single time that we see these teams play, we're just hoping that something is going to change, right? And I think that SRG, now that they've kind of lost tempo and losing out, and the most important thing, which is their lanes, can they bounce back? But first, the game fact.
This is the bulletproof man himself. Super Marco tops MSC 2024 with the lowest average deaths per game at 0.77, then followed by Few.
I think, to be fair, Few got done a little dirty with his stats only because he's put on a Julian of all things. But hey, still, Bulletproof Marco's still living up to his moniker. At this point in time, let's have a look at the items to see who has got what. And it looks like, oh, interesting. Flapteezy might be rushing for the Sky Piercer now that he's got quite the substantial lead for himself before finishing off the Hunter Strike.
Taking their time, it seems. I mean, for most of them, especially in the bottom lane, Innocent, he knows that this is not a winning matchup. He wants to just scale up. Doesn't really want to go for a lot of the skirmishes. So he goes for the Warrior Boots here up top. Cram pops in a Purify, has the hard guard to get him now. Sky trying to go for the chase. Flapteezy goes to the quad shot on the back line as Few is able to disengage. Flapteezy rotates over, providing cover. Flicker forward by Flap. Really trying to get Skies there to punish him, but now that's a big flicker, big ultimate down. 12 seconds for the next neutral objective.
Still, the hard guard's not going to be back up when this turtle fight does commence, right? And at the end of the day, it still feels like FCAP is trading up. They're still taking away camps from guys at this point of time. The real question is, when exactly do they actually want to commence a full-blown team fight?
No Detonus welcome. The missiles does connect onto Cram, who's going to be dealing a lot of damage now with the Curtains call onto Falcons AP.Bren. 2-level lead on Flapteezy. Skies hovering over Cram again, doing some damage. Minus Fury by Ogwen. Knock 2 members off straight into the enhanced sight. Flapteezy secures the Retribution. Now Kyle just jumps back and forth. 2-0 in kills too.
This early game is completely disastrous. Falcons AP.Bren, they're going to be able to control this for the next 8 minutes or so. And I think that's Selangor Red Giants. Oh, I mean, they're trying, but at the end of the day, right, they've been slowed down significantly. Look at this.
1v4 in the bottom lane with a hard guard down. Innocent trying to run away, gets chopped down, and he got taken out inside of the belly.
It's too tough. It's too tough. Look at the priority, right? Falcons AP.Bren pushing up the tempo, and nobody can really win 1v1 anymore, right? Selangor Red Giants now getting punished for their greedy lineup. This is going to cost them and potentially cost them game number 1. But let's have a look at the hero matchups here, because right now, the actual win rate compared to the theoretical win rate, 100% for Skies.
Retribution earlier, CalTeasy was able to steal away, now jumps into the quad shadow, gets pinned down, but is able still to escape. These little mistakes, but the instant recovery from Falcons AP.Bren.
I mean, like Leo likes to mention, right? It's a game of inches, and Falcons AP.Bren
millimeters
right now,
at this point.
They're playing with feet, right? They're extending their lead even further. And at this point of time, when we look at the items, I think, you know, at least for FlapTZ, he's playing it safe, right? Go for the Dom Ice. You're already up against the CC. He's not going to greed out and go for the War Axe straight away. But the real concern is that Kyle's already 4-0-1, and not to mention, even few, just poking people out with enhanced size, good enough.
Oh, Shadow kill this guy. Piercer execute, takes him out. Even with the hard guard, Stormy couldn't save him. And this is what's special, I would say, about Flap. He knows exactly, wait, up top, bulletproof Marco. Trying to go into 1v1 against the assassin, and Skies is forced back. FlapTZ! Flickers forward, Nom into the wall, straight onto Super Marco. Ogwen knocks him up. And he takes the kill with the small hammer he has.
Oh man, Falcons AP.Bren making this look easy. What a lead that they've generated for themselves. Selangor Red Giants, they have to forfeit every single time Falcons AP.Bren takes space. You gotta give it away. There's no point fighting this early on, especially when you're 8-0 in total kill score. But not only that, look at that level lead.
That's few. That's the mid lane, who's on an assassin. He can't even, clear these waves usually. But here in this matchup, he's been able to find so much prio, and that's why you see that damage. Golden Staff, at least for Innocent, we're seeing him get towards item. Power Spike, Cram, gonna dash away, Yomes with the flicker forward, onward, and the Earth Shatter. But Amis Fury catches 4 on the board, knock up 2. Kyle shut down by Cram. Now on the chase, it's FlapTZ running away for his life. But Super Marco on the Lycan form. Yomes brought back to the team. Another Earth Shatter to knock them up for Innocent. To continue, the spear hits.
You know, what am I doing here, right? What am I even doing here? A forfeit, give up space. I take it all back. Just play pixel perfect. Kill CalTeasy while he still has his ult. Don't give him a frame to react.
And they're on the board. The momentum slowly shifting, but if we take a look at the goalie, Gideon, it's still massively in favor of Falcons AP.Bren, still flying across the skies, looking down at the Red Giants.
I think at this point, when we're looking at SRG, their main winning factors is, can they drag this out long enough so that people like Innocent, people like Sakai can actually catch up to get that critical mass. But unfortunately, it's going to be a little slow, so we're paying attention to Yums and his battle spells. Whenever he has it up, he is looking for an opportunity to lock down CalTeasy like he did previously.
It's all about Yums, so it almost seems like in games before the grand finals, every time he's on the Edith, every time he has a flicker, he'll use it. Just like that. Now the kite back up against FlapTZ, who decided not to commit the dead ton as welcome. And we get to take a look at the items here again for the in-game equipment. FlapTZ, like you said, taking the utility route on this game. Dominance Ice straight into the Sky Guardian helmet. He knows exactly what this pick is meant to do. It's meant to frontline for Super Marco, for Kyle. And we're seeing that with the Quad Shadow and the Shadow Kill into the back line right now, doing a lot of damage. Cram needs the photo proc. Kyle's able to escape with the Quad Shadow, dodging away from the Earth Shatter that was well placed by Yums.
This gives a lot of information, right? CalTeasy, he's already so far ahead. As long as he doesn't die, that's totally okay, right? Yes, he did lose a couple of Sky Piercer stacks, but it doesn't mean that he isn't like level 13, 9 minutes into the game compared to Sky's full 3 levels ahead of the man. It's tough to argue, but at this point in time, we're just hoping and waiting to see whether the Heart Guard is going to get dropped.
Again, these Quad Shadows by Kyle, using it just to poke, slowly but surely. They bit out the curtain call though. Cram, no ultimate. Wait, CalTeasy
Spot him out? No,
on
they
the
don't spot
Lord.
a few.
Seems like they're trying to just sneak this one in. Selangor Red Giants still focus on their own purple buff. And even then, it's forced out by FlapTZ. Retribution still there for them. Minas Fury into the Desert. Welcome, canceling out the Minas Fury there. And it's going to be the knock up to Cake Humes down. Now into the back line. Comes to Blaze. Knocking Few up straight into Skies as Blaze. Flat easy to be taken down. That's a double for Skies. Looking for a triple as he marches forward. Skies continues the onslaught. Kyle forces the shadow kill. Super Marco chases Innocent in the back line right now. It's Kyle. It's in a 1v3. No shadow kill, but he does have the quad shadow. Going back and forth. Super Marco goes in and finds the Lycan pounce. Skies looking for it. The spear catches him. Skies finds an unofficial Maniac.
Oh my goodness! How did it end up like this? Falcons AP.Bren, they lost sight of what exactly they were fighting for. They already had the objective that they wanted to. They wanted to extend their lead. They may have shown a bit of disrespect, but Selangor Red Giants made it messy, kind of split them apart. Keep in mind, Falcons AP.Bren, they don't mind diving, but they still have to maintain that front to back. And if the damage lands on the correct targets, like Innocent, like Cram, who as of right now is catching up real fast with the brute force breastplate. Now, after the early game, he's 1-3-6, but the same goal, if not more, than Flapteezy.
That's some scary stuff right now. The scaling of SRG, the CC, the Ling, the Moskov. It's a very greedy lineup for SRG, but if they're able to somehow find those gold resources and place them onto these three members, it'll be very scary in the late game. Even the CC, he'll be able to actually withstand a 1v1 against Kalteezy. I think maybe he might go for the winner, Crown Fu. And then later on in the side lanes, maybe Kyle will have to send over another member, maybe with Few together to really deal with him.
I think they got to start changing their habits up here for the side of Falcons AP.Bren. Looks like SRG has a bit of a read on them, and at the end of the day, it's all about landing the damage on the correct targets. I think better yet, hold on. Does he want to go for the info? Yes, he does. He's all 5.
Flask of the Oasis is still there, though, and he'll be able to escape with the quad shadow. Scouts goes in, chasing the back line. Tempers of Blaze, knocking him up right into the spear as well. Skies finds the assassination in the back base. Few out. Super Marco with a gun down, finding the shutdown back, and it will be a trade. Both junglers down, but Innocent wants to continue. Pin down Yums, finds an Earth Shatter. Stormy in the back line, going to be taken down by Flap as he stops him on the ground. But take a look at Yums and Innocent, who is still free hitting. Gets caught by the enhanced sight. There's a Flask of the Oasis from Ogwin's motivation roar, but Cram is still able to escape. Few and Ogwin now with Marco on the chase. Flicker forward, the Lycan pounce will not give anything for Cram to deal with him. Innocent in a 1v3, that one with a nature as well. Tells forward, Super Marco finds with a nature, scratches him down and finds the double.
He tries to outplay it. That's going to be a full wipeout here. A double kill for Super Marco. What an interesting approach. Selangor Red Giants make a play of their own to take out Kyle, reset his Sky Piercer stacks, but unfortunately, Few is quite a problem. These extended fights are working out much better for Falcons AP.Bren thanks to the Julian. He doesn't have to wait for a long ultimate. He just needs 8 seconds.
And now Minotaur. Ogwin has the winner crown, Gideon. That's the combo we were waiting for with the Minotaur, especially when they're snowballed. Yums, Earth Shatter R2, but the Minion's Fury knocks them up. Cram gets thrown away. The Spirit of Destruction into the back line. Yums trying to survive now, even with the Shadow Kill. Skies no purple buff, still desperately going for it. Tempers of Blaze now on the Super Marco. Skies finds the shutdown. Now it's a Kyle. It's Skies who continues the fight. And now onto the Lord he goes. Cram in a 1v3, trying to deal some damage. Stormy tries to heal him from across the wall. Skies finds, now with the Finch poise, over to Few. He continues the damage with the winner crown. Saves him for a bit. Few trying to chase him down. Sky still surviving. Cram with a cleanup, and Few will be taken down.
Are you not entertained? Game number 1 from an abysmal early game. Somehow SRG are the ones who bounce back. Skies makes a play of a lifetime, and Ling, you can't count him out.
You can never count them out. Sky's in the mid lane now, trying to take the tier 2, and he will be able to do so. He started this game 0-3. He didn't have a purple buff in that team fight.
He didn't, but he does now have 4 items. He's scaled up finally. And honestly, he has more farm than Kyle after having a 4-0 start. And they're cracking open the inhibitors. And I think that SRG, they gotta call it quits at some point.
Kyle with the damage, jumps onward forward, Earth Shadow Flicker combos, guys. Trying to capitalize on this, has it, Tempers of Blaze, dodges away from the Midas Fury, catches Super Marco, but now gets chain CC'd. So able to survive for a bit, nommed down by Flapteezy, shut down by Flap. Stormy caught in the immobilization as Kyle finishes him off. And finally, Falcons AP.Bren they find the chance to slow it all down again.
I think it doesn't matter, right? With more people dying at this point in time, we look at the waves and we can understand. Unless no, he wouldn't.
What? Innocent? He tried pure destruction. Doesn't get that few. Deletes him from the Lanadon. Now it's a wipeout for Falcons AP.Bren.
Why overheat? Why overheat? They could have just reset off of this. The waves were in a position where they couldn't get punished, and now they're definitely going to be losing something off of this. Sky's coming back up in one, and Stormy in one as well. They could try 1v3 once more.
No purple buff though. Again, same problem for him. Does seem like for Yums, he will be able to just pressure them away from that mid turret, but the base turret will be taken down already. Sky's barely dodging away, doesn't want to commit the Temper the Blaze just yet, buys the Rose Gold Meteor in time, and Falcons AP.Bren will be happy just with the 2 base turrets take.
I'm telling you, Mirko, this game is starting to look like a war of attrition now. It's like I trade 1 inhibitor, Falcons AP.Bren, we're going to take 2, which begs the question, what is SRG's response? No purple buff once again from both of these assassins, and Kyle in particular, with that purple buff, is going to be able to do a lot more in these tight situations. 30 more seconds as we look at the items. We're seeing that the biggest problem at this point of time is the fact that, hey, if we want to get into these fights, Ogun, you gotta have your flicker back up. And Yums, his is coming up in 16 seconds, but with a Holy Crystal on top of everything else from Few, that really begs the question, can Innocent truly outplay everybody without the help of the Heart Guard?
A game of millimeters, a game of inches. SRG and Falcons AP.Bren. So far for both of these teams, they're still able to keep the far lane base turret intact. So they'll still have an advantage to play with, technically. I think Falcons AP.Bren with the mid lane constantly pushing in. Now this is a point where Yums onward in the Earth Shatter over to Flapteasy. Just with a little bit of poke from Innocent. No teams wanting to go for it, but my question is, Gideon, is this good for SRG? Do they want the mid lane to actually be pushing towards them so that Innocent, so that Cram, so that even Skies can keep farming up, getting those resources?
I don't know. I think that SRG, they want to fight for this, right? I think they know that once the Lord starts crashing in towards their crystal, it's going to be really difficult to high ground defense. Keep in mind, Stormy is playing Angela. No, Angela is not known to have the greatest wave clear. Oh.
Her Shadow Flicker combo. Ulti the onward flop. Finds the backline with the Detonas. Welcome now straight into Kyle Teasy. With a shadow kill, used up in the back line, able to back away. Skies chasing them over the Finch poise, running him down now with the Temper of the Blades as well. Kyle able to dodge away from the knockup, but will not be able to dodge away from the rest of the Blades. Meanwhile, it's a knockup on a 2 straight into Cram, who's going ham with the yo-yos. And Sky somehow finds a way to escape, but the base was wide open.
A clean back door coming in from Falcons AP.Bren. SRG, they show that they can go toe-to-toe with some of their best, but when it comes down to the macro, when it comes down to that lead, Falcons AP.Bren just show, hey, you got to get on our level. You got to have some polish, kids.
Composure. The calmness to pull that off. In a skirmish that looked like it was pure 50-50, in a skirmish where it looked like SRG were going to win, they said, nah, I'd segue.
It's tough. I think it's really, really tough considering all the action-packed fights that we're having here. We're so much focus on the micro from the side of SRG. It's really difficult to see the entirety of the map, but I think our analysts can do a better job at breaking down this game. Analysts, please take it away.
Can we just say the first game here already set expectations for this grand finals? Because I don't know about you, gentlemen, but when you're asking me what game number 1 was going to look like, I don't think it would look like that.
Yeah, no, it was high risk, high reward for SRG. And again, if you want to achieve something great, such as defeating the world champions, you gotta think outside the box. You gotta think outside where the box was even made.
Because here's the thing, like, I was
like
almost
that, huh?
thinking that Falcons AP.Bren might have a flawless game, right? No deaths and everything, but then Selangor Giants fought back, and at the end of the day, it's not who has the better team fight.
Yep.
Few just ended the game.
And most importantly, you can see SRG with this set play where it is going to be either Cram or this Edith coming out from Yums to start the fights, and then they will force Kaltizi to maybe pop the Quad Shadow, or it kind of feels like there's someone who forces the ultimate coming out from Kyle, and then in comes the Angeling, which, man, it's still pretty strong. I believe that even when Falcons AP.Bren won this game, they probably will not let go of both the Angeling.
Let me just say as well, Selangor Giants, as good as they look going up against Falcons AP.Bren, what were those mistakes? Especially towards the end of the game when they're pushing if they were, maybe a little bit relaxed, could have been a little bit better.
I'll tell you, Lafel, you mentioned it already. The beginning and the end are where they made their most mortal sins. Number one, they drafted very greedy.
Yes.
They have very little wave clear, very little vision that they can actively throw out to protect this very late game-centric lineup. And then second is towards the end. Again, Coach Vecchi knows that PH teams are so good at macro. They got so consumed by the team fight that they forgot. Few tried to do this just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Stormy did go back, but that's an Angela,
Yeah,
If it was a Lilia or something, maybe.
Exactly. There's clearly the only, if you think about it, the only legitimate wave clear that SRG has is when Edith pops the ultimate.
Oh.
That's probably one, but obviously that's not gonna happen. CC clears the lane slowly.
Oh, yeah.
Moskov takes his time, but again in the late game, maybe if you angle it properly, you're gonna clear it better.
And even with Edith, you're also besides the skills, your basic attacks just still hit one at a time.
Exactly. So, yeah, we did say that there was a glaring problem. Man, imagine if it just had X4.
No, but here's the thing. It almost worked out. They were already in the base, but they forced it.
Man.
If they didn't force it, could it look different?
I hate to tell you this, but in the grand finals, almost will never caught it.
Yeah. Now I guess maybe three mortal sins, right? Beginning, the end, and that last one, the force push at the bottom.
Yeah. But still, I gotta say, though, that was... When Gideon asked, "Are you not entertained?" Man, I was.
It was definitely entertaining.
It was definitely entertaining.
It's so entertaining that even we watching, like off camera, like we will tell you guys, we went through our own cycle of emotions.
Yes. There was a video
I don't know how to
footage of
feel,
it.
yeah.
There was a video footage of it.
It's rolling now.
Yeah, but again, honestly, I like the risky draft because, again, we had this talk, Leo, if you don't take the risk, how are you going to defeat the world champions? It's just that I kind of feel like when it comes to the gameplay, ending the game, I feel like 2 or 3 times SRG got wiped out where they really shouldn't have.
And once FCAP got wiped out, which I think was what sunk my stomach. What really, that roller coaster of emotions where they were like, oh no, they can win, they can do this. Yeah. And Wolf and I would have to eat our words because even ending and concluding the draft, I was like, yo, that's super greedy.
Yep.
And maybe through the sheer team fighting skills, they could have gotten away with it, but...
Yeah. Nevertheless, if there was a team that I would allow to be greedy, I think now SRG has proven their worth for that regard. Because I think that they have a clear idea of what they want to start. If you look at the game and just dissect it, you're going to see a pattern coming up from SRG, which kind of tells me this is a set play that they have rehearsed so much and they know from 0 to 100 and they execute it properly, actually.
Honestly, I want to know a little bit more about that. Can you show us with Bob, with the telestrator, what you mean?
Yep. Okay. So thank you for allowing me to do this. Actually, let's just rewind. This is a team fight that eventually Bren won, but it was a testament to how good the angeling was and the fact that it was SRG. And Bob doesn't want to rewind. Well, now he's rewinding. Okay. So
thanks, Bob.
This is us rewinding this. Okay, so first off, you can see that it is Kyle TZ in this spot. Well, you cannot see him because he is under
he's in Oki Shadow.
So,
yeah.
Yep, but that means that he activated his ultimate. So that is a launch pad. The guys identifies, okay, you don't have an ultimate, you did. And there is a lot of stuff that's happening onto the backlines. FCAP actually chose to chase, and they were able to do it. Now, in this time, we don't even need to highlight anything. This is more about min-maxing from both teams. In fact, all players are God mode in this case. Look at how they go in and out. Innocent was amazing. Few was really, toying with death. Super Marco was going in and out, making sure that he has the Lycan Pounds. Ogwin as well, utilizing his teammates.
Ooh.
And now they will not turret juggle. They will juggle Innocent.
It was a rope-a-dope. It was an alley-oop. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a...
Beautiful.
A sliver of a second, a nanosecond,
Exactly.
wherein Cram went... I think he wanted to throw some spell vamp out and then maybe survive and then give the kill over to Innocent.
That's right.
But there were, if I'm not mistaken, 3 members of Falcons AP.Bren there, and I think they thought one went back. So, again, take risks where you can, because if you want to beat the world champions, that's how you do it.
I gotta say, this kind of games is where Super Marco gets the name Bulletproof. But with that being said, we gotta look at our Sony MVP, and it's gonna be few on this Julian. And I gotta say, he did a lot. Damage, escaping death,
Ended the game
setting up,
single-handedly.
ending the game. Dude, he did it all.
Yeah, I believe that Few is so much of an expert in this Julian, in a way that the entire team kind of became very comfortable on how he plays the Julian. And I'm saying that because the chain stuns coming out from Falcons AP.Bren were perfect. They're utilizing either Ogwen first, or it will be Few first, and then they will get the damage output done, and then they go in and out. I believe that Few should not be given the Julian. In fact, I would say Falcons AP.Bren are way too comfortable picking up the Julian because two people can pick it up.
Would you say that it's a detriment to allow it to open? Like, it's your loss if you leave it open.
I would say yes.
Ban it out then.
Yeah, I would say yes. And
Start.
same can be said though about the Angeling. Maybe take out one of the two components.
Just at least one.
Just at least one. I think between Angela and Ling, I think, especially because you're playing up against SRG, just bet the Ling, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Because again, Ingan said it himself, even without the Angela, he's activated, right? So with the Ling, it just makes the problem bigger. But we got to talk about our MVP here, 8 KDA, 751 GPM. And remember, the only guy that has a lower death count than him is just Super Marco.
Isn't that poetic that a hero such as Julian is now one of the specialty heroes of Few, who is in the early game super strong? He played even before Season 1. Now in the twilight of his... I don't even know, like he might even play for like 5 or 6 more years.
Yeah.
You're a mad burst hero in the Julian, like, and he ends the game himself. Isn't that like...
I mean, like, the crowd control itself, I feel like it's one of those things that actually drops guys where the basic attack just pulled them in. It's like, well, I guess my dashes mean nothing here.
That too. See, so at any given point, Few matters, both literally and figuratively in the world of MLBB Esports.
That's why he's my GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm not a kid, but he's my idol.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's the idol of everyone. But with that being said, starting on July 24th is the female pro players' time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine esports. Now, honestly, like, this game with that kind of showing makes me feel like it shouldn't be a sweep, right?
Absolutely.
That could have been the one. That could have been one for SRG, honestly speaking. I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, definitely not. Unless, of course, we're going to see another Angeli on the other side, But yeah, I don't think it will be a sweep.
With that game, we got to look at Falcons AP.Bren's achievements. Let's look at the journey that they had here.
Wow.
Ever since rebuilding in 2022, again, have been a trust the process kind of team.
Yep.
And this is not the output you want. Is this not the best case scenario for output after such a long, drawn-out process?
This is gonna be a template for esports in general, particularly mobile esports, right?
Yep.
Because now you're gonna look at a team that is not composed of like super. That started out as a super team, or it started out like an all-star team. They made all-stars out of their players. That's amazing for FCAP.
Looking at the stats here, honestly, only average damage per minute and unique heroes is won by SRG. Everything else is by Falcons AP.Bren, especially looking at that KDA. It's like, what, double?
Yeah. Then again, can we both agree? Can we all agree that this is, that stats probably will never be able to describe the two teams?
Yeah, there's some things you can deduce.
Yeah.
Some things that are results of the way they perform. But in the end, numbers are just numbers.
Yeah.
You tell me that game was close and you show me the timer, you show me the results post-game, I would not have seen the full picture.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't even use a calculator anymore.
What is a calculator? No,
Actually, you know what?
Is there one in my phone?
I just asked Sanford.
Ah, yeah.
He's a human calculator.
Yeah, I just asked him for help. Now we got to look at the
There it
crowd
is.
here. Here we go.
We're nailing it
Julian,
right in the head.
very first ban. SRG is going to be blue side. Falcons AP.Bren, red side. Banning out a chip as well.
Yeah.
So how bad is this? Would you say that the Julian is worse than the Luyi? Because what if it comes down to it?
What if it comes down to between like picking up Julian? I would rather pick up the Julian just because it can be flex. At the same time, you're in the grand finals.
Yeah.
You want to play in your comfort hero as a team. I'm not talking about just a comfort hero as players, individuals, but as a team.
So I think that's what's looking like it's going to happen. Because Hart's still open.
Yep.
Luyi is still open. Ling is still open. There's so many big-ticket heroes.
this is the part where you definitely want to think if you're SRG, do you really want to give up Ling or the Valentina, in fact? Because if you want to go back to your Angela, you're scared of that Valentina. And do they actually first pick the Valentina in the presence of what? Harith, Ling, Loyi? Probably not, right? So, well, they do went out to Harith this time. They will be opening up the Valentina.
The question is, will the Ling get banned here?
It's not. Oh, okay.
Right.
So, Loyi or Ling?
For SRG.
I'm
Honestly,
feeling the Ling.
I think Valentina first pick is the best choice. But if I were to guess, they will pick up Ling. The second choice, definitely the Valentina.
Yeah. So, I don't know. SRG feels like a Ling. Because again, it's not like Sakai's did a bad job on the Ling. I mean, maybe he made some bad calls, but it's about maturity, right? Game 1, forget about it. Focus on Game 2.
I wonder.
Yeah, no, Angeling's not making it. Because if you pick the Ling here, does that make FCAP more reactive? Does that mean they're forced to pick up the Angela now, or else pay the consequences?
No, they can pick up Valentina and Moskov.
And then not care.
Or Moskov Terizla, actually.
And still have all the answers.
Huh. Interesting. I think among all of those, I think maybe Valentina plus Terizla, right?
There's the Valentina.
Yeah. But yeah, I think my top one is Valentina Moskov. Because
Honestly,
now...
Terizla makes sense. Yeah. That goes true.
You got it right, but you did something else.
Yeah, I mean, like, that still is... I'm still right, you know.
We still want to see Angela Moskov because it's not like they had a bad game.
Exactly. No, they played very well. If anything, they just adjust the second half.
Yeah. You know why I want
early.
them... Yeah, that's also true. Yep. I think, you still pick Angela. But then, why I like the Valentina is because it can copy the Angela. Angela actually hates playing against this Valentina.
They both just hide.
Yeah. Unless you want to go like Angela Ruby if you're SRG. Well, Moskov Ruby.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
They're letting go of the whole Angela situation, which I think is good because Yums is super comfortable on the Ruby. Almost single-handedly changes the tide of battle.
And I feel like Stormy, this is one of those situations where he's looking at everyone's eyes and he's like, let me carry the game. Let me do damage.
So FCAP should pick up their gold laner now. Maybe somewhere along the lines of a Claude, so that they have a way to match up with this Moskov, because I'm sure that there will be a lot of Super Marco bans upcoming with the Moskov being picked up, Harith not being available, as well as Roger. You want to pick up your gold laner now if you're FCAP.
The real question is it really going to be Roger? You know what? At this point, I want the casters to come in. You guys are seeing the first 3 picks for Selangor Giants as well as Falcons AP.Bren. How are you guys feeling about this one?
I think Haya.
All right. They're thinking Haya.
Yeah.
They have a brainstorming in their own side.
They're very invested.
Yeah, they're very...
I mean, given how dynamic and layered the first game was in draft, despite it being relatively greedy for SRG, I think there was a lot to go in there.
Again, going back to the casters, like, let's start with Falcons AP.Bren. What do you guys think of their opener?
Personally, I think their opener is looking really, really good. The Valentina, I mean, Miri and Merkel have been discussing constantly about the back and forth between these two teams, and I think so far, FCAP looking real nice.
Yeah, I think for Falcons AP.Bren, picking up the Terizla early was just amazing for them. Now they can nail down on the XPs for Cram, force the Ruby, hopefully, maybe for them, onto Cram. And then for SRG, I feel like they're really just going to try to nail down Calteezy, deny all the assassin picks, force him on utility.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your thoughts on Falcons AP.Bren's opener. In terms of the ban, what are we looking at like here?
I think I'd like to hold it on choking out Cram.
All right, okay.
Because again, after the aforementioned Ruby switch up is there, and of all the members of SRG, Cram is the one who is okay with living with the bare minimum. He's okay getting beat down. He can start the game at 0-4, and they'd still dig their way out of that. So maybe just protect everyone else and then let him be alongside Stormy, carrying in his own way.
Yeah. All right. Now that means that you ban what? Paquito, I guess. Or Harlot's still Harlot's banned. Yeah, so you ban Paquito. There still is the potential of the Angela, by the way. We are not eliminating that factor, which also will be really good for SRG. That means that if they do want to pick up the Angela once again,
personally for me, I want to see a damage dealer.
For Stormy.
Yeah, personally, like, give him something like a Parsa. Yeah, exactly.
Parsa's great overall. Another option is the Kagura. Oh, the Angel Band from FCAP.
Oh, wait, another one. The Aurora.
Oh, yeah.
The Aurora.
Yep. Also a hero that you don't give a massive ultimate to the Valentina too, right?
Yeah.
It's combo based, so it makes a lot of sense versus the Valentina. I'm curious, right? Nolan is probably among all of the assassins that we know, with Ling being picked up, Fanny ban, Hayabusa ban. You're left with Nolan. But it's not good against the Ling. So actually, my guess here is maybe they'll go for
Utility box is still out there.
or maybe even an Amon if Kyle picks it up. But here's an interesting thought. Maybe what if they go the Echo, the Team Liquid Echo route, where they pick up Guinevere, right?
That's a pocket pick. Haven't seen Kyle TZ on one in a while.
With the Minotaur, you pick up Aurora here.
Okay, that's a chain stun special from Falcons AP.Bren again.
Yeah.
Chain stun, chain knock up.
Yeah, or maybe a Navaria. How about a Navaria for SRG?
I mean, that does solve the vision situation. Doesn't really give much burst, but allows for you to control the flow of combat.
Navaria and Edith looks really good here for SRG. It's a good close-up on their already solid lineup with two important cores. You have the Ruby for eventually for Cram, or the Edith, whichever they pick, which are two heroes that are unbothered by the Terizla, and in a way can actually soak up the damage from the Claude. Now they pick up X-Borg.
Now they get the Borg and they get the Vixana. I guess they're just throwing all caution to the wind, saying, you know what, we don't care. Take the Eternal Guard.
Yeah.
And we'll go off of Innocent, we'll go off of Sikais.
Okay.
Oh, and the Nolan last pick here.
Yep.
So, thank you again, gentlemen, analysts, for your service towards the draft. Nolan last pick here coming in from Falcons AP.Bren. Gideon and Mirko, hope you guys are ready because we're throwing it over to you guys.
Man, that first half of the draft, that was interesting, but at least between you and me, Mirko, we figured it out towards that second half as we start rolling into this game.
Oh, man. You know, it really felt like for SRG, they really wanted to deny those assassins away, but they left the Nolan open, obviously because the Tigreal is a big threat to them as well. But now that Kyle is on an assassin that can match the Ling when it comes to farm, it's scary. They have a Terizla as well. This is a very similar composition that they used to beat Liquid Echo just yesterday, or 2 days ago.
And that's the thing, right? It's just a one-to-one solution. Hopefully the pieces are going to start falling into place. We're going to see whether our Malaysian representatives has what it takes to even take away a singular game in this best of 7 from the final bosses, the gods of the games. Falcons AP.Bren, as we start rolling into the land of dawn. It's going to be SRG on blue side up against FCAP on the red.
SRG were definitely able to make Falcons AP.Bren lead in game number 1. It looked dominant for Falcons AP.Bren at the start, but then towards the mid-game, SRG with Yums always looking for the fights, they were able to drag them down to the ground to actually make it a head-on battle.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they were even to get the Falcons. They're not clipping their wings just yet, but definitely brought them to eye level, which is surprising. But looking at the emblems so far, seems pretty standard all across the board. However, the starts from the side of Falcons AP.Bren. In particular, Kyle TZ, he opted to go for his orange buff first, then make his way down towards his purple, which does give an indicator that maybe they would just want to break the Faraga armor relatively early, just so that Flap TZ has a better time in lane.
Yeah, for sure. I think getting rid of the Faraga armor is going to be top prio for Falcons AP.Bren, because we were talking about this X-Borg pick as well, off cam. The X-Borg is really great in lane. In the team fights here, up against a lot of burst heroes, like the Valentina and even the Nolan, he will struggle a bit, but as long as Cram can utilize the lead he gets in the lane, if the rest of the team is able to also just let him do whatever he pleases in the lane, it's going to be A-okay for Cram.
Now we get to the 1 minute 30 seconds and nothing has happened down by the EXP side, which gives Cram indication that, hey, it's probably safe on this side of the map for now. And as we notice, Kyle TZ, he's on the top side, right? He's looking for an opportunity, maybe foreseeing that SRG was going to read into the EXP attack. Because look at them, they're sending 4 members down.
Again, for Falcons AP.Bren, it's all about dealing with Cram, the Faraga armor, because he's going to have auto prio. Especially with Stormy coming around. He gets that passive down, and Cram will just burn those minions for the passive to kill everything.
Now, Turtle is up. Purple buff is needed for Sakai to actually stand a chance. But Kyle, he's power farming this entire time. In terms of like the laning phase, honestly, this is a way more manageable game compared to number 1.
Good damage there. Onto Few. Placed down by the Cursed Blast, but take a look at Falcons AP.Bren, who are the ones on the turtle. Holding it down for now. FlapTZ has the penalty zone. Can go for the zone, but Skies is really rotating over. CalTZ getting pulled back by Yomes. Eternal Guard coming down as well, but Ogwen will be able to pop the Innis Fury straight into the flicker, knocking 2 members up. The SOD connects, but no one's taking it just yet. Ogwen gets blasted down by the last Insanity, and it will just be 1-for-1. Few going back and forth on the Valentina. Just with a turtle advantage. Falcons AP.Bren up top. Super Marco blazing duet. Innocent wants to go for the pin down, finds it, but there will not be a solo kill. Not now.
Man, Innocent refuses to let go of any farm. He's like, I'm gonna pin you to the wall real quick.
No.
Let me quickly get the cannon. All right, we're done with the trade. Okay, we're done. No more afterwards. But at the end of the day, Falcons AP.Bren, despite trading both supports for each other, they were able to achieve that turtle. So if we're talking about a matter of inches, it's whether or not this turtle shield is going to make a difference in the upcoming engagement, right? Because right now, it's pretty passive between both top and bottom side, EXP and as well as gold.
I think it's going to be that way for the most part because Falcons AP.Bren, they're just so good, even in losing matchups, to make it even in the lane. They know that they are just here to farm. In the bottom lane, the Terizla is a losing matchup. Up top, even the Claude is a losing matchup, but somehow they're farming really, really well. You can even see in the XP, Claude, Marco's ahead.
Yep. They got to take their time with this, right? They're looking for these big opportunities to make big plays. And I think I'm looking towards Few and as well as Stormy in this particular game, right? Because I think that's the big game changers for each team. We're expecting FlapTZ to look for the big engage. We're expecting Cram to peel. That's pretty obvious. Even for Ogwen as well as Yumes, the big engages happen off their battle spell timer. So keep in mind, 30 seconds on and 25 seconds on both.
That's a fracture damage. That's the burst damage that we were worried about for Cram on the X-board. Say goodbye to the Faraga armor. Skies now in the bottom lane. Goes for the Defiant Blaze just towards the minion waves. CalTZ together with Flap. The hammer swings a few times. Skies gets zoned away from this turret. Will be able to pick up that last XP cannon minion. But still, a lot of resources down now for Skies half HP. Yomes, I'm offended, didn't connect Few. Able to use the last Insanity anti-CC to escape.
Yeah, nah. I think at this point, they're just going to have to take their time, right? I definitely think that at this point of time, wait, hold on. That doesn't look right. Cram's got a little more health with that, but still good patience coming in from Skies, right? His ult is such a big resource for him that he needs to hold for as long as possible. At the same time, where's the Minoan's Fury?
Again, time not that well. Eternal Guard, Midas Fury though catches them. Skies gets knocked up straight into the penalty zone. And now with the last Insanity, Cram, he's trying to burn them down. Is forced to flicker backwards. Falcons AP.Bren, it's Few with the steal on the last Insanity. Ogwen's trying to pin him down under that turret, but Cram knows better than to stay in the bottom lane all alone. Innocent up top now. CalTZ comes in. Innocent still able to survive for a bit, but not for long. Not against the TZ Air.
Nicely done coming in from Kyle, right? I mean, if you can... Whoa. Calm down. Ooh. They really want to deny Skies any kind of farm.
It's getting tough for Skies. 3 levels down against the Nolan. That was a threat that we were talking about as well in the drafts. The Nolan can match the farm speed of Ling. So with the Terizla, so much prio. Now with Ogwen walking forward against Cram, FlapTZ can swing the hammer down with the cannon minion. The Skies will be forced to just go for that purple buff up top.
Let's look at this replay one more time here, because again, the way, man, the fact that CalTZ just using the ult as a gap closer rather than I want the burst damage, knowing that Innocent still has his dashes, just goes to show Falcons AP.Bren, they got really clean communication. Like Super Marco's informing him about what is available to make these plays effective.
Calculated, always calculated. Maybe that's why he earned the name TZ behind him, right? But again, for SRG, it'll come down to how they're able to slow the game down, but then make those off-angle engages. Yomes, again in the mid lane, getting chunked down. You have a game fact.
Yep, Stormy leads MSC 2024 with the highest average assists per game at 10.2. He's not looking for those big plays. But, oh, wait, hold on.
Speed of misery, but it's all to the backline straight into the blazing duet by Super Marco! What the heck was that? Skies gets the Tempest of Blaze, but Super Marco just guns him down to pick up a Maniac!
What a Maniac coming in for your boy Super Marco at 1 HP. We need a replay of that. We 100%. So we see the initial pushback 3.
What?
Eternal Guard hits. Where does it happen? Penalty zone hits 3, and Kyle just has so much damage. He has so much. He sets it up perfectly for Super Marco to walk in for free, and despite all of that, it just goes to show the jungle diff at this point of time. The 3-level lead that Kyle TZ has really making the difference. And let's look at the gold difference. Yup, he's still 2K ahead.
Super Marco. There's a reason he has Super in front of his name. Time and time again, he decides to flex that Super name. Standing in front, no, below a Ling. He got knocked up. He's like, nah, Purify. He was getting stabbed. He's like, nah, I got guns.
He's so brave. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like he teases people like, oh, I'm going to take off the bulletproof vest this time. Oh, nah, there's still plating underneath it. Joke's on you. But with this being said, right, Falcons AP.Bren, they slipped up in game number 1 when Selangor Red Giants hit a power spike, and they managed to out-micro them in a singular fight to turn things around and find that momentum. I'm expecting that Falcons AP.Bren is going to take a much slower approach this time, and yeah, that's what we're seeing, right? They're not sending everybody. They're just, oh, if we hit it, then sure. If we don't hit it, we start backing up and waiting for the refreshes.
It's all about poke, I feel, right, at this point of the game, especially considering for Kram, he wants to stay in these team fights for a long time. So if Falcons AP.Bren can just burst that Faraga armor down, nah, you can't really do much anymore. You're going to be forced to wait for the reset, for the regen of the Faraga armor. But yeah, man, Super Marco. He's like Kakashi with his mask, but Super Marco with his vest. Technically, you take it off, there's another vest down there, there's another plate down there. But at least for Skies, he is looking for farm. On the right place, Yums. I thought he was going to be bursted down there, knowing how far ahead Kyle is. But he just walks up and Skies is able to get a trade.
He can swap us if he wants it all. I don't think he spots it all. He checks it and he cancels it just to slow him down even further. How annoying. Worst yet, I think that Falcons AP.Bren are in a great position because honestly, Few, he has his 2 frontliners to create that space for him, and SRG don't have that same capability. Stormy is playing at the very edge of his max range, where Few, he can stay as far away as he wants to. Oh, FlapTZ set it up for me, and Oakland follows up. I can go in and out.
Oh, look at the burst damage. On towards him, beating out the Eternal Guard. Peel Skies is forced back as well. Kram is very low. And they can just stand there. Innocent up top, finding a turret. But look at that view again. Able to find the last insanity. That's a blazing duet. Skies steals the Lord somehow, some way. Marco gets the unstoppable. And Innocent gets a turret.
That's a tempo breaker. That's the clearest indication. Look, wait. Let's see. Look at the Lord health. We know what's going to happen. Tempest the Blades comes out the penalty zone. Lands first. Man.
2 levels.
A millisecond off. Kyle didn't get his retribution off. He wasn't expecting it. That's really unfortunate. Oh my goodness. And not to mention, right, after everything they got, the Eternal Guard, they also forced Yums to actually flicker out of the way. Technically, that's unacceptable.
Falcons AP.Bren set that up perfectly. They had everything in their cards. But then, up top, that's where Innocent got picked off as well, by the way. But for SRG, Miracle Workers, Kyle walking up again, trying to get that passive down, unable to do so. Skies wants the 1v1. Jumps back forward, doesn't have the purple buff, needs to respect that the energy can be depleted. Yoms able to escape Eternal Guard, knock FlapTZ out. Penalty zone from Flap. Not connecting there. I remember saying Marco even almost getting bursted down. Forced to blink back with the BMI. But now Skies is looking for him, jumps forward, and will be able to find it straight into the Spear of Destruction. A shutdown as he gets out.
It's a fadeaway. Jumps down, autos, doesn't even move. One more auto and walks off. Holy, SRG find a way to crawl back into this game despite everything that's happened. It looks like Falcons AP.Bren, they're trying to regroup here. I don't want to say that it was an overheat, but there are definitely moments where Falcons AP.Bren were poking a little too hard for pretty much no value whatsoever. It could be an adjustment to SRG anticipating the pushback, or we could say that Falcons AP.Bren, they were hoping for a little bit more from SRG.
I don't know what it is, Gideon. Falcons AP.Bren had such a big lead. Kram taking a whole lot of damage. Even the execute there on the Sky Piercer towards the Faraga armor. I didn't know you could execute a frag arm.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Doesn't happen very
interaction.
often here, but then again, it's not like we see Xborg every other day.
When was the last time we saw Xborg?
Oh, I think that was in the group stages already, man. Because that was the only time we got to see, like, you know, Terizla through. Once we got into the playoffs, man, the Terizla definitely was one of those things where, like, we gotta push him out of the way. But at this point in time, we look at the damage dealt. Nolan's still on top, and even the damage taken, right? Yeah, there we go. Xborg as well as Terizla both on top with, you know, Ruby not too far behind. And I think that Yum so far hasn't found a crazy I'm offended yet, right? I think that's the hardest part. Whoever's been throwing the first their abilities first tends to lose that match. With the Winds of Nature from Slide and Super Marco, maybe he can make the super play.
That's something that we have been seeing a lot from Falcons AP.Bren, but just in the few last minutes, it's been SRG finding those miracle plays, finding those super plays with an assassination from Skies. Somehow, it's like a timer for SRG. Every time they reach the mid-game, they suddenly get a massive power spike.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, why did Yunus use the I'm offended onto Ogun there? What was he trying to bait out? Maybe he was hoping that Falcons AP.Bren is going to overheat. I think for both of these teams, honestly, they're looking a lot more similar as long as this game goes on in this best of 7, right? They're baiting each other to try and overheat, baiting each other to overextend, and Yums know that the I'm offended comes back up early.
Started the Eternal Guard. I mean, this Fury and the Flicker combo. Kyle in the back line trying to find the assassination, but Innocent is able to blink out forward. Now in the back, Skies goes for the chase, the assassination on the Kyle with the Flicker forward from Yums. Skies continues it. What is happening to Blaze? Breaks it out and is in the midst of it all. Catches a lot of Blaze. Innocent with a cleanup. And now it's Super Marco running for the hills. FlapTZ and Ogwen cannot deal with this Lord take from the Red Giants.
Oh, and now with the Lord take, they can almost guarantee at least one of these inhibitors. If they can get at least one, they can set themselves up for a really good Lord take afterwards. But it all comes down to the real question: who's going to overheat first? Because Falcons AP.Bren have not been able to get maximum efficiency off of their abilities just yet, despite everything that has happened, right? It looked like Owen got a really good engagement, and more importantly, we did see Kyle having an insane angle right straight through the mid lane at the cost of a bunch of flickers from SRG.
This is why the Nolan, it's really good, especially when you're in the lead, right? But when you get to the 50-50s, when the enemy team was able to weather out the early storm, it's very tough for you to enter these team fights. There's a Don't Run Wolf King. There's obviously a Spear of Misery. But let's take a look at the siege now. 3 mini waves crashing down into Falcons AP.Bren's base. Innocent finding the pin down straight at the I'm offended. Over and over with the Eternal Guard. Catching FlapTZ. Minus Fury used up, but it was cancelled by him taken down. Now Sky jumping back using the Sky Piercer. Forcing to win a crown out. FlapTZ with a DPC. Locking Yums down, but he has the immortality. He can still survive. Sky is again poking few. Falcons AP.Bren, they live to tell the tale, to see another day. But SRG don't want to stop there. The siege continues. This time to mid lane with Yums. Over with the conceal already. I'm offended onto Few straight into the stab down. Few taken down, traded in. Blue from Marco with a blazing duet. Finding one, going for the trade. The base is open though. Skies assassinates Marco straight into the BMI. Kyle versus the world. Now jumping in with a fracture. Unable to get him. Innocent 1 HP. Skies going for it. Minion's Fury onto the cannon minion. Now Ogwen, the master. 2v1. Tempest Ablaze. Ogwen taken down. Burnt to the ground. By Cram. It's a penalty zone. As Flap goes for it, but Skies buys the immortality. And they drag the Falcons to ground level.
They're looking eye to eye. Even gods have to take one step down and see this new threat. Oh my God, what momentum. How do they swing it? And all of this thanks to a simple mechanic. Curse Blast. Where's your HP now, brother man? Where's your HP? It's all gone. Max health. Oh my goodness. How did it end up like this? Almost a repeat of game number 1, but this time it's in SRG's favor.
They're miracle workers. There's no way to explain it, the way that they were able to find these team fights while being 11-1 down, being 6,000 gold down. Against Falcons AP.Bren, that's usually a death sentence.
Most of the time it is. It's like they have Sky Piercer most of the time, but today it looks like they don't have enough stacks just yet. It feels like SRG has just been touched by a god this time around, but it doesn't mean that it's over just yet. It's still a best of 7, right? So we expect it to go the distance. Let's throw it over to our analysts to break it down for you.
First of all, we can at least say it's not a sweep, because now it's a 1-1. But we got to talk about the miracle timing coming in from SRG. Somehow, even in the first game and second game, somewhere in mid-game, between 7 to 12 minutes, is where they really start to shine.
It's the same idea from the previous game where somebody has to force the initiations and the spells coming up from a Falcons AP.Bren, and then Sakai cleans up. It's like the Sky Prince is going down and is getting himself as the cleaner.
I'd hate to say it, but their comeback victory was, in essence, a two-step process. Number one, get Sekais into a position wherein he can actually get shutdowns. And then number two, capitalize on that and out-team fight Falcons AP.Bren. That's exactly what happened ever since that turnaround.
Honestly, Sakai's is playing like his idol, man. He's starting to play like Kyrie. Like, this is the kind of highlight plays that we expect from amazing junglers. But speaking of which, in this matchup, both junglers did absolutely amazing. Like, with this being the trend for game number 1 and game number 2, you really can't say any team is going to win or lose based off a small lead that they have. I feel like even 2,000 or 3,000 lead isn't that big of a deal when we're talking about both teams.
Yeah, Sakai has cemented himself as absolutely one of the best Ling players that we've seen all throughout the history of Mobile Legends. The way that he played this assassin, like a true assassin, going in for plays like you're going to be cleaning up, you allow your team to soak the brunt of the damage and then clean up afterwards. It's as if his strat right now, and this will sound hilarious, but it kind of feels like he's sacrificing his teammates so that the FCAP members are getting a streak, and then he collects the bounty afterwards. All of a sudden, he's hella rich afterwards.
That sounds like a strat I would be into.
I mean, it's working.
Let me die a few times so that you can get a big goal lead.
Yeah.
That's the two-step process again, right? You die, and then I clean him up. You die, I clean him up. What that puts their opponents in is a state of mind that acts like a sword of Damocles. Like, at any time, I could get hit by a rogue Ling. Anytime, Sekais could be just somewhere, and I'm dead.
Are we going to see a Ling in game number 3?
Well, I do hope so.
Okay.
As much as, as fan of Falcons AP.Bren, I would want them to ban this SRG Ling, but at the same time, they can use it.
Yeah, exactly. Pick it up, because we now know for sure that SRG respects the Julian. Maybe this time, you do the same. You give the same courtesy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, speaking of Julian, I feel like SRG, even though they haven't shown it, they have the same dimensions. It can be put in the mid, it can be put in the jungle role. I really feel like that Julian ban was the one that really solidifies things, because we saw how strong the Valentina is, but it looks like once the Ling gets 3 or 4 items, the Valentina can get deleted anyways.
I think you also have to take note of the last pick Nolan. I think I fairly remember I said that it will not fare well against the Ling. It was actually being countered. I understood when they did execute that it was early game centric, which was true. Nolan is a very early game centric hero, but come the late game, you see how it suffered. After one full combo, you have to get out, because otherwise you'll be taken out afterwards. So that made me think like maybe there are other options there available for counter.
Yeah, the Ling is, the Nolan is too much of a specific tool for a job that he can do very well, but take him outside of that situation, go past the 13, 14-minute mark, be inside your base, and as the Nolan, you're just wondering, like, what do I do with all these rifts?
Yeah.
So, Wolf, help us understand a little bit more. Let's dive right in with the Telestrator.
Yeah, this is where all things went in favor of SRG. All right, so you're gonna see this is the second Lord of the game that will eventually be in favor of SRG. And what I want you to take note before I play this clip is that the members of SRG will force the ultimates first from FCAP. FCAP will actually burn out all of the resources, and then they will kite them out of it. And I also want you to look at the circle, the inner circle being FCAP, and the outer circle being SRG this time. So let's play the clip now. You are gonna notice that it will be the utilization of 2 ultimates, actually, including fuse limiter. So that's the 3rd ultimate. And now when they try to get out, Sekais is now cleaning up house because he knows that Kyle TZ does not have the ultimate anymore. Doesn't have the BMI to go with it as well. So there's a lot of resources. He does have the Purify, but come on, Purify can help you in there. But you also have to take note about Humes, because the idea here for SRG is after FCAP already spent their ultimates, they will go in. Yum still has the flicker. You can go flicker second skill. That's the beauty of the Ruby, and that's exactly what is going to happen. Kaotizi cannot react to that ever so quickly. Then you still have the ultimate on Sekai. He's just cleaning up house. At this point, there are no ultimates. No resources that FCAP can use because they have lost both Few as well as Kaotizi in this situation.
It's a masterful refinement of their game 1 draft.
Yeah.
They ended up with so much more resources, whether it be in ults, in battle spells, or just in sheer use of space.
Yeah.
Because the Ruby closes the gap, not just for you, because Ruby is a negative gain, right? She displaces you and pulls you closer to your opponent's box. So it's such a perfect way of reading what happened in game 1 that it allowed for SRG to play to their comfort. There was literally the early game and part of the mid for FCAP, and then once they got over that hurdle, it was all SRG.
And now we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's going to be the Sky Prince Skies. Where again, we got to talk about this. Like, we've seen Falcons AP.Bren being able to deal with the Ling, but again, I'm pretty sure the way that Skies has been playing it deserves respect back.
Yeah, definitely. And
or pick up, of course.
we can see that for SRG, they're playing the Ling as a team as well. Like I said, they're sacrificing themselves. They're forcing some ultimates first. And I believe that if Sekai picks up this Ling again, well, you know, Sekai's the limit.
Sekai be violent, man. He's so lethal. So, again, I'm halfway through with your theory of him actually just, all right, you guys do what you gotta do. If you die, okay, I'll just shut down whoever it is.
This was a big shutdown.
That's real.
A 5-kill streak.
That's a lot of gold.
I mean, like...
It happened in game number 1 too, where he actually shut down the Kyle TC supermarket, then all of a sudden he's the richest guy in the lobby.
Yeah. His target acquisition is amazing.
His killer instinct
is out of this world. I mean, like, here's the thing. If Coach Arcadia says, okay, someone has to die just so that Sekai can get a big shutdown later, I'd be like, I volunteer.
Is there something...
Sign me up.
100% KP.
With Terengganu junglers.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
He grew up in the same province as Chibi.
Yeah.
Right? So there must be something in that province that makes such high-quality killer junglers.
Something about their Kropotliko, man. But anyways, right now, honestly, we have an amazing series in our hand. It's just the first 2 games. But for now, we're going to throw it over to our reporters. What do you guys have for us?
We are live at the Amazon Arena. I'm joined by Turner and DJY all the way out from Malaysia. DJY, how are you feeling? What emotions are going through your head right now, sitting with the live audience, watching your team in the grand finals?
It's not looking too good right now, man. AP.Bren is leading by 1 point, but it might even go to 2 points right now. But it's okay, man. I believe Malaysia can come back from this, because I still believe that it's going to be a 4-2 in favor of Selangor Giants.
Okay, so your expected outcome is a 4-2. Now, is that a non-biased opinion? Do you really think the Selangor Red Giants can come back from this? Because it looks like they are head-to-head with the Titans of MLBB right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, man, because if I'm being non-biased, right? People say that Malaysia is an easy server, so, you know, maybe AP.Bren can actually win this, but, you know, I still have hopes for Malaysia. So, you know, as a Malaysia, we gotta keep supporting Malaysia, man. Selangor Giants.
Now, the audience is going wild right now. What message would you have to give over to SRG to push through this series?
What?
What message would you have to give to SRG to push through this series?
What message do I have? Just play more assassins. Don't play tank junglers. I think that is the key to victory. That's the secret of victory of Selangor Giants.
All right, thank you so much, DJY. Thank you so much, Weezy, as well, because we're going to send it back to the studio. And of course, good luck to the Selangor Red Giants.
Well, for DJY, clearly he didn't see game 2 coming, because he's like, that's probably 2-0. Well, now it's a 1-1. Now, he said he wants more assassins coming in from SRG. I wonder though, does Sakai's have something else besides the Ling? Because again, is either going to be taken away or going to get banned?
There's half a dozen valid assassins right now. I'm sure he plays half of them, even if the Ling does get stolen.
Ling is probably up top when it comes to like the ceiling, so he probably knows how to play like either Hayabusa, you know, Nolan, maybe
Fanny was banned before.
Yeah. Elkert Jungle,
Crazy.
Worst comes to worst. Amon.
Oh yeah,
Lancelot.
Amon. Yeah.
Natalia, you know.
Maybe.
Natalia has a bit of a stretch though. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, if
With that
anyone can do it,
attitude,
it's him. You know, but yeah, we're jumping in the draft here. It's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be on blue side, because I feel like if Falcons AP.Bren gets the blue side, it's going to be very difficult for Selangor Red Giants, where they have to consider they have to be the ones banning out that Ling. It looks like Falcons AP.Bren is on blue side, SRG is on red side.
All right, if this continues and the trend is whoever does better in blue, means the draft is a huge influence. It really does dictate who comes in with an advantage. Now, wow.
Yeah, they really respect.
I can smell it. I can smell the Julian being at least here or the second, the last ban for SRG, and then a Ling steal.
Can we talk about how we thought that Falcons AP.Bren is like, yeah, take the Fanny, but it looks like they're respecting it enough to ban it.
Yeah. I guess there's just a ton of problems that will arise if the Fanny was big. Like you're forced to pick up a Kufra, or you know, somewhere along those lines. You need a hard lockdown. You need a suppress to go with it.
Maybe the Kaj.
Yeah. And interestingly, after dominance in the MSC, the wild cards in the group stages and the early parts of the knockout stages, Luyi was king altogether with Chip. Queen, yeah. At this point, I think that it might be snubbed all throughout the series.
Hold on. Now the Harif has been banned out. Looks like for both teams, they're willing to fight against the Luyi if anyone wants to pick it up anyways. But SRG, it's really on them at this time. Yeah. Either they're going to ban out the Roger, they're going to ban out the Ling, or they're going to have to let both of those go.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Moscow perhaps is an additional ban here for FCAP. They banned the Roger, so this is definitely a race for the Ling, and SRG might be considering just banning that out, because I'm pretty sure the FCAP will prioritize taking that.
If that happens, if this is indeed the Ling ban, does FCAP go Luyi or Julian?
I think they will go Julian. It just makes a lot of sense.
Leave it out. Hey, Valentina's open too.
That's true. And yeah, Valentina is an okay hero when going up against the Julian. So I think SRG might be just very confident about giving that Julian up and maybe just ban the Ling. It's like one of your, you know, sometimes when you're like, okay.
Let both of them open.
Oh,
we'll see. Do you want to take the Ling away?
Pick your poison.
Because again, like you guys said, they pick up the Ling, maybe SRG picks up the Julian.
And they can't afford to let the Ling and Angelo, or can they? They already beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So that's definitely the Ling for Falcons AP.Bren. You answered this with a Valentina. Oh no, you answered with Angela.
Whoa! It's their turn!
I mean, again, like we just said, you take the Ling, I take the Julian.
This
right?
Yeah.
Stormy, I'm sure you trust your boy.
I trust my boy, man.
Yeah.
The
Mage Prodigy, I'm sure, has a Julian in him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the last time he used the Julian, that was like, what, season 10, season 9 or something like that. But
years ago, my dog.
But the thing is, when he's using the Julian, everyone else don't have to play.
Yeah.
He'll get all the kills.
That'll be
Valentina Moscow all the way, I believe.
That'll feel great for the guys.
Parrots. How do you feel about this, Wolf?
For you to pick up these heroes in the face of a Julian, which you know to play very well, this must be FCAP knowing the solution.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But then that exposes CC. I think you pick up the CC now if you're SRG.
Honestly, right now, I want to bring in the casters, because for both Gideon and Mirko, I'm pretty sure you guys are watching the pick and bans here. So just want a general idea from you guys. What do you guys feel about the first 3 picks for both teams, FCAP as well as SRG?
We're kind of freaking out here. We were expecting the Ling to get first pick, but then afterwards we were hoping for Yuzong, another vehicle, deny them, and even from SRG side, like, they can pick their poison whenever they want to.
They can really do that. I think at this point for SRG, going for, I mean, they already have the Julian, they go for the Claude here, and I get it. For both these, it's all about getting the Julian and the Claude into the mid to late game stage and then battle it out up against this composition.
Wait, is this a Yums, Angela? Because if you are saying what we think we're saying, then
There's a
this
chance.
is a mid, Julian, and
There's a chance. Again, it's like, it's not really Yums' play style, but Yums is the kind of guy that he's a soldier. You ask me to play Fanny Rome, I'll do it.
It's actually a switch up in the dynamic. Correct me if I'm wrong, LaFell. Gideon, you're listening too. Because what I heard is Stormy says where to go, Yums drives.
Yeah.
Right? Stormy, so it's now Stormy doing the job and Yums just following up.
I mean, if they do that, it really is like just saying to Falcons AP.Bren, what you guys can do, we can do it too. Speaking of which, now we're looking at the bans here. Valentina getting banned out, Yuzong getting banned out. What do you feel about this, Wolf?
Yeah, Valentina, just a valid ban. I thought that should be the third pick of the FCAP, but they chose to go for the bats. Understandable because they want to secure that lane. I believe that you also ban what maybe interesting. I want to see ban Kadira because
I mean, we see SRG fought the Julian mid with a Phoveus. Maybe they have some kind of fighter situation in mid that they want to bring up as well.
yeah, Fue is the first one to actually rock
The mid Phoveus.
the mid Phoveus. So, yep, that's a pretty strong hero to pick up. But I guess another hero is maybe the Minotaur ban. They banned Tigreal instead. So I think this confirms Julian to be the
mid.
jungle. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because you don't
Makes
wanna,
sense.
Yep. You kind of want to secure that the jungle farming pattern for the Julian.
I was thinking they were gonna double down and invest in another jungler that's physical.
Yeah.
Hence why they banned out the Tigreal.
Yeah. And then SRG goes Ruby this time. I think it doesn't. It just makes a lot of sense picking up the.
What about a CC?
Yeah, I still feel the CC is a great pick.
It's gonna show up.
It's gonna show up for sure. Maybe last pick, or maybe this pick actually. Yeah, no matter what, that's going to be CC. They're just gonna make sure that it's clear. But Ruby is a very safe pick here, the fourth pick, because it's not countered by anything at all. It has great synergy. You can put in the EXP lane if you're forced to do it. I see the world where it is actually picked up as the EXP lane.
Yeah, I compromised the link too. Like you show it a second of weakness.
Thumbs.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Unlikely unless there's still room. There's still room for a Ruby.
Casters, what do you guys think about this Thomas pick against the lineup that Falcons AP.Bren have been showing?
I think that, honestly, it's coming to a point where what exactly are they trying to do? And I think it's going to be playing for these early first turtles to try and get to that mid-game like Mirko was mentioning just now. And from FCAP's side, I mean, they've got to have some strong answers to this because the Barats already should be able to clear faster than the Thamas.
It's all about capitalizing on the mid game, yeah. It's all about capitalizing on the team fights because what the Thamas allows SRG to do is it allows kind of the whole team to buffer the engage, whereas the Moskov will have to really be careful as to how he actually goes into these team fights, and if he does go in a bit too early, the Vengeance will maul him.
Yeah. There's a Minotaur, very good pick because it counters the Cloud, and there's it's just about this a big nuke mage like the Lilia, because the Thames was already shown. You know that it kind of walks, so it has to actually walk and traverse line. So Lilia makes a valid pickup here.
I love the adjustment. FCAP just says, you want to fight slow? Let's fight slow. Let's make the fight last forever.
Yeah.
If there's any player who knows how to make a Tams work, that's Flapteasy. He won a season championship off of that hero, playing very aggressively. So now, it looks like they're going to try to tempo out SRG.
Rock looks decent for SRG, but I would say maybe an Edith. Maybe they'll just go back to the Edith. Oh, okay, the anti-Ling strat, of course.
He's going to be on Kyle TZ for minute 0.
And this is Angela Hilda.
Okay.
That's scary. That's actually really scary.
It's a good draft, but I would still say it's a bit of a risk. But again, going up against world champions, you got to take risks, man.
I love it.
Mirko, Gideon, I hope you guys are ready because it's your turn.
Holy cow, this draft, quickly threw a curveball here. I thought, hey man, this is gonna be tough because FCAP's comp, they're gonna eventually outscale, but it looks like from the side of SRG, they've decided upon, you know what? They've been winning out on the early game. It's time for us to show them what an early game looks like.
Oh, this is gonna be really interesting to see for SRG because technically, they have a lot of great early game pressure, but even in the later stage, they have that Claw to carry them.
Hopefully it's gonna be enough. We're coming into the land of dawn, boys and girls. It's game number 3. They've managed to jump as high as the Falcons, eye to eye. But can the Falcons soar even higher here in this match? Welcome to the land of dawn. The Falcons AP.Bren on the blue side, SRG on the red.
You can already see as the game gets started, the Hilda make a very aggressive maneuver in towards the enemy purple buff here. As the Angela definitely have to go and deal with the waves. And this is why the Lilia is going to be so good for Falcons AP.Bren. They get so much more prio and they can rotate over to Yums. Right now, it's already kind of struggling to actually get in the vicinity of that purple buff. Stormy has cleared it out. Kaltizi on it. He'll be forced to maybe use the retribution at this point because Yums, he is there trying to screen it out. Kaltizi bringing it into the bush. Retribution is going to be used. Yes, it does. Yums, successful invade.
Yep, really nicely done, but this means that he might just be going down here to Kyle, right? He is using Warcry.
Okay. Flickers out. Yums now doing some damage back. Now with the help of Few, this should be first blood over to Kyle Teasy.
Look at the tempo, though, on the bottom side. After the EXP has been pushed out, they're getting Julian involved to start stealing away 1 or 2 camps here. So at least for Sakai's, despite Kyle Teasy getting 1 kill, he is a level ahead.
The gold for XP trade. I don't know how that's going to actually help SRG later on, but seriously, if Skies is able to steal a Lord with 2 levels down, I can only imagine if he's the one ahead that he'll not miss a single retry.
Well, we'll see whether Kyle actually still has his retry, considering how much pressure is being applied to him right now by Yums, right? We're expecting Yums to get even more aggressive after the 2-minute mark because then he's not going to get punished as heavily once he's invading those jungles. But take a look at this, right? They're setting up a potential counterattack here down on the bottom side, but SRG sense it.
Again, for Kyle, it's really tough for him to actually maneuver around because if he gets poked down, it's very tough for a Ling up against this kind of composition already. The Julian is actually a great pick against the Ling, so now that if he ever gets chunked before he enters, he's going to be punished even more, and SRG know it. That's why they're not in any rush to go for a neutral objective.
And especially since guys, especially with the chains, right? In combination with Yums, trying to disrupt Kyle Teasy to maybe get a delayed hold on. He was taking a bit of damage here. He's still got black shoes. He technically should be fine, but now Cram involved.
Again, jumping into the midst of it all, has the helmet. Hard guard, pops into Vengeance, jumps to the back line again, dealing damage on Kyle Teasy, forcing him back. Cram standing there menacingly, zoning them away. But Kyle, they're trying to make his way back. That's a flicker forward. Death is welcome for the pin down now into the knockout. Knock up into the Fury as well. What a combo from Falcons AP.Bren. Stormy able to flicker out to safety. Cram will do so as well. What a recovery.
Really nicely done. Very nicely done. The weird part is that we did see Cram spot out the Ling on the mid wall when it all occurred, right? For all intents and purposes, Molten Size, he could definitely throw it at him. Try to push him off that, try and honestly push him off of that wall. Maybe even get Yums to help out with that as well. But instead, they start peeling backwards and they completely forget that Flap has the flicker.
Flap Teasy on the Barats. He makes it feel like a Ling. He makes it feel like it's a mechanical hero. Detona's welcome flicker combo connecting every single time, even in game number 1, finding the prio targets. He was able to find the target he needed, and it was Skies. Straight into the pin, and now we get a look at the items. Does look like for at least Innocent, he's actually quite a bit ahead. 300 gold as he goes in for the push. Turn of the night, the waves from Super Marco, immobility. Super Marco able to get out now, trying to go for the pin down out the sky. Spear of Destruction as well. Now onto the back, bringing him back over for Kyle Teasy to assassinate him. Well played, but the sword gets him out. Skies not for long. Stormy caught as well. They find a trade, but it's definitely not worth it. Not just yet. 2 members down. Yums dealing some damage. Not able to go for the full assassination on the Few. It's actually him forced to flicker out. Baptiste, the Dino, walking back as well. The knock up and then everything in the kitchen sink to deal with Yums.
Ooh, okay. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised the fact that Sakai stayed alive that long to chunk out Super Marco like that. At the end of the day, it's still a very well worth trade for Falcons AP.Bren. Now Super Marco's got 4 assists in the bag. Ogwin, unfortunately, has 2 kills, but hey, you take what you can get at this point of time, right? As long as you're able to accelerate Kyle Teasy, he's going to drive the momentum for Falcons AP.Bren. SRG need to have much cleaner fights right now. Let's look at the items one more time, and the lead still in favor of Innocent.
Again, though, in the purple buff, Yums, Power of Wilderness already used up the Retribution. Baited out of the Kyle. But now with the Defiant Blade, he should be able to deal with Yums. He tried to get into that bush, but it will only give Kyle the unstoppable he needs. 5-0. Flask of the Oasis Power Spike for the Minotaur.
But despite all that, 5-0-2, a wonderful KDA to have. And yet, guys, despite being 0-2-1, the same level as Kyle TZ, they're doing something right here, right? They are trading gold for a little bit of extra time and EXP. And that is going to keep SRG in the game because, as we mentioned before, it's about that mid-game, right? That big mid-game spike.
Krem put down a bit. Good position on that choke point. Krem unable to really go in. The missiles not able to connect right now, but Krem will be brought back forward. Pops in the ultimate, has the hard guard to play with. Stormy is hovering over him. Taking a lot of damage though, Kyle now. Able to recover, able to clear some waves, able to clear some of the creeps. One level ahead of Skies. He's back again.
And finally, for the very first time, we see SRG say, no, we're not going to contest. We're finally just going to retreat. And Stormy's going to top off his boy Cram here because it could be a setup angle for a dive. And I think that's a very good call considering everything that has happened here. But in the mid lane, at least the guys finding opportunities. Wait, that just is... They're not going to dive that for sure. But let's look at the goal difference, right? Because while everything is happening, it looks like Innocent has been doing a phenomenal job, now extending his 500 gold lead to an 800 gold lead.
He can go band for band. He can go M for M with Super Marco.
I was not going to follow up you on that reference. I knew you were going to pull it out as well. Let's look at the items because now you can see that the 800 golds make only the slightest difference, right? It's Golden Staff already built on top of that DHS. But let's cut back to the supports because the Flask of Oasis is going to be a lot better than just Steel Paints.
Gotta be careful though. Look at this. The Dynaman up top. Oh, one with the knock up, getting chunked down. It's a bit of damage. I think it was from the turret, Yums, and then a few basic attacks from Innocent too. Now walking up forward. BMI defensively again. Both teams really just looking for an angle to find an advantage.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Kyle TZ has built. I just saw the GDS actually getting purchased, and I don't know if he's fast-forwarding the GDS instead of getting the Houseclaw, or maybe he already has the Houseclaw in time on top of the Berserker's Fury, right? That's the atypical build that we like to see. Wait, he's not gonna...
Forcing types of blades. Skies has the enhanced sword, goes for the chase down, has the hard guard to help him too. Kyle TZ gets out. And SRG want to capitalize. Cram straight into the bottom lane. Wants to cut this wave to find that prio.
And it just goes to show that KDA isn't everything to all of our ranked demons out there, man. Like, look at that. He's a full level down, and you compare it 5-0-2 to 0-2-1. In what world does that win?
In this world. 7 minutes in, Game 3 of the Grand Finals of MSC 2024. But Super Marco will be able to utilize that advantage up top, the 3-man advantage, to take a Tier 1. Now straight into the bottom lane, utilizing the movement speed, but SRG are on it. Sky, Stormy, and Cram. Look at maneuvers coming in from Falcons AP.Bren, trying to recover the space. You're going to be chunked by Yums. Forced to flick around, actually. Super Marco with the Abyss Walker. Also with the Spirit of Misery. Trying to really go for the poke onto Innocent as Kyle TZ holds on, and no purple buff on him. Pop TZ, in the midst of it all, caught in the poke. So much poke praise on him, still able to flicker next to this Walker, finding Skies again, and this time it's going to be Skies, dealing some damage back again. Ogre with a mock-up, Kyle TZ with a blaze, still able to survive. Cram with a vengeance, Yums in the back, it's Skies getting soloed. Ogwin will fall as well to Innocent. A trade for now. The Falcons AP.Bren, they secure all 3 neutral objectives.
I mean, at this point, I bet even the audience is tired of like, how does only 2 people die? Despite everything that has happened, these battle spells, these flickers especially are proving extremely valuable. I would have imagined at the very minimum that maybe few probably needed to purify or something, but even Flap TZ, wow, that was just, man, how does he get away with this?
I can't believe he's done it. What, at this point, I don't even know how many times he's done it, but the fact that he keeps getting Skies, and in game 1 he kept getting Innocent. Barat's the death to his welcome. Usually we see the death to his welcome miss, especially when it's combo with the flicker. This guy still gets it every single time.
Man's got aimbot somehow. It's inbuilt to his fingers somehow. I don't know. There's no explanation for it.
There is an explanation.
Good. What is the explanation?
Toby Maguire got bit by a spider. Flap TZ got bit by a goat.
This guy is just, he's too good. He's too good. But at the same time, right, SRG continue to try and keep it even with Falcons AP.Bren. Yes, it is a 3K differential between the 2 teams, but we've seen time and time again that SRG have made miracles happen, and Falcons AP.Bren are now taking a much slower approach to SRG than they have before. They're not just throwing people at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
Here, though, you can see Yom's trying to screen out Skies, able to clear out the mini wave in the bottom lane, and again, for Selangor Red Giants, they have a really good way to actually minimize their losses, right? Every single time they're actually behind, when they don't have tempo around the map, they're still able to catch every single wave, while also denying any pickoff from happening, which is very, very impressive up against a team like Falcons AP.Bren. Usually a 1,000 gold lead means that it will give them a billion more opportunities to look for pickoffs around the map.
Yeah, but it's starting to look more even. Even we're talking about like priority, right? Like Cram half the time is able to kind of match up unless we do see FlapTZ sacrifice a bit of his wave just to get there on time. That's the cost. That's the big brass tacks that both of these teams are applying onto each other. Every single one of these moves need to have purpose, and it always comes with a cost. That being said, though, this Lord Dance is going to be extremely important for the two. The worst part about it is that Falcons AP.Bren probably can do it slightly better thanks to the help of Ogwin on this Minotaur.
Slowly but surely, again, for Falcons AP.Bren, this is the new version of the Lord Dance. With the changes, it's all about the Lord, do we call it a step? It's a tap dance, kind of back and forth a little bit, you know? It's a tango.
Cha-cha. Yeah, it's a tango. It's much more of a tango than it used to be than just sitting and doing the waltz, right? But at the end of the day, Minotaur is really, really good at...
Ooh, almost catching him with the enhanced chain, but Kyle still able to utilize the Finch points. He is low, though. He'll get the motivation roar. He'll get that sustain.
I think this is a pretty good opportunity for SRG to start taking the space back here. However, Few not making it easy, right? Drawing the borders in the river, making sure Gloom is going to set the tone for this upcoming fight.
Oh, what a nature. Perfect timing here for Falcons AP.Bren. Now it'll come down to Skies to really deal with Super Marco. Yums in the front, trying to deal some damage on the FlapTZ. Will be able to do so as Cram walks up forward as well. Jumps into the midst of it all, still able to pop the ultimate. Now Innocent deals some damage, jumps in the midst of it all again. Jumping forward, Super Marco. What are they doing? Skies goes in for the assassination, still able to find his Spirit Misery. That's welcome to the pin down. But now the winner Cram from Skies. He tries to stay alive, but Kyle TZ is an absolute monster.
With 5-3 so far, Kyle, he's not going to die here, but look, 12-2, and SRG finally making a big mistake here. As we look at the replay, this looked like a great engage, and I think it was a good idea that even Yum's flickering forward to try and disrupt the backline, especially since Super Marco honestly was in a pretty dangerous position. Now they're in their base. Did they close it?
Stormy trying his best to actually evade from it. The Cannon Minion not in range just yet. Cram, he dealt. He did what he needed to. He stopped the minion from getting into the range. But still, it's another 2 members down.
At this point, like you mentioned before, Wind of Nature came at a very convenient time for Super Marco. Without that, he probably would have died to Sakai's or wouldn't have enough health to actually survive from him. Luckily, he still played it as best as he... Oh, God.
Yum's pinned down, flicker forward, and has sword from Sky, Spear of Destruction! Super Marco with a chase forward to find a double!
A statement piece by Falcons AP.Bren with a double kill from Super Marco. But they gotta breathe for a moment. These chain deaths from SRG is supercharging Falcons AP.Bren as they're pushing the momentum to the crystal.
The base wide open. Super Marco will deal with him, but he'll go for Cram just first. Super Marco taking a hold of his out with the vengeance, and the turret shot takes him down. Cram against the world. Now it's Stormy against the world. He'll still be able to survive. You chasing him down is a mistake. Falcons AP.Bren, they still have a Lord to play with.
Innocent in 4, Sakai's already back alive. Falcons AP.Bren, did they mistime this?
Whoa.
Unfortunately?
They did.
They recover. Let's breathe for a moment here because we know that this whopping score might just mean nothing in just a little bit. So far, gold differential, a full 7K ahead. When we look at the items, the Winter Crowns have already been purchased since earlier, but now even more people have it with more invulnerability frames to work with. At this point, the question really is, SRG, how are you going to make this miracle happen again? Can somebody deal with this Daytona's welcome from FlapTZ? And more importantly, Few, now that he has the Ice Queen's wand, it's very dangerous to walk up.
I think it's all about Skies with the enhanced scythe. If he really wants to deal with Death in his welcome, it's all about him evading and then trying to melt FlapTZ down. Look at Yums going in onto Few with the Power Wilderness. Cram as well forcing the Black Shoe. Skies right there goes in for some damage with Lazy Dude. Few still able to escape, but Yums chases him down. Skies win a crown in the midst of it all. As Owen gets isolated, Skies will too. FlapTZ, Detona's welcome, now into the mist, pinning him down straight for Super Marco again! The Spear of Destruction, whiffing this time, Stormy able to survive. The same 2 members, Cram and Stormy. Can they do it again? This time, dodging away from the missiles, able to go for the clear onto the waves. No Lord to play with. Have they survived again?
I think it's time for SRG. It's going to be hard to close it out at this point in time with 3 members still alive, right? But they trade 2 for 2. And I think at the end of the day, it should be good enough. Oh, no.
Mark Guard and the ultimate now turning things around, forcing to win a crown from Flopteezy. Is going to be melted down, but so is Cram. Super Marco with the help of Kyle TZ. Picks up a double. The mini-wave still there. They're going to go for it, and they will secure game number 3.
Oh my goodness, this game is coming down to the inches here. The chain deaths coming in from SRG side, supercharging and doubling the momentum generated by Falcons AP.Bren. Put them in such a bad spot. Miracles only happen when you work for them and you make some good decisions. That one was not on top of the list.
Well played. Falcons AP.Bren, they really adjusted to the mistakes they made in game number 2. They weren't composed enough. They weren't controlled enough. And in game number 3, they decided it's all the way from the start to the finish.
Consistent step-by-step process. Falcons AP.Bren really showing why they're some of the best players and the defending world champions. I think that SRG, unfortunately for them, this is going to put them in their place a little bit more. Falcons still in the air. They're still punching up towards them despite being giants.
All this time, even after the miracle defenses, Falcons AP.Bren still fly above the rest.
Well, analysts, it's time for you to break this down. What could both of these teams have done better?
I mean, I feel like we can go very different angles here, but I do have to say, for the 2 games that SRG lost was with that Angela. Even though it did look good, but it looks like it's not good enough to get that W.
I hate to say it, during the draft, we were all saying, hey, maybe it's time to put Stormy on a hero that is actually proactive, that has the mechanics and the damage to output to actually put the team on his back. But the glaring thing here for me personally would be the hill down Humes. We saw it as a bold choice.
Yeah.
Definitely one way to maybe stop Kyle TZ's Ling. But in essence, it's such a reactive hero. I really didn't feel much of Humes.
It's almost gimmicky.
They were a step behind for the most part.
And okay, so my argument with that is it works. This is I would say this is a regular season or a group stage kind of answer to Ling, right? Because you can see that it can easily like trump the early stages, and if it does become successful, it's gonna be great. Ling is gonna struggle. However, this is the grand finals, and they have solutions for that. I'm sure that prior to picking up the Ling, you're also prepared for that. So I think that if you dedicate taking the Angela and taking the Hilda, then just to answer one pick,
Exactly.
that's not that economic, if you think about it.
It was a permanent solution to a temporary problem that, you know, maybe even FCAP was ready for. Honestly, not just maybe. They literally were ready for. It's very rare that you don't feel Humes, especially since he started playing for SRG.
Honestly, the one that really seemed to be a problem was Flap as well as Few on this Barats as well as the Lilia. The Lilia did her job very well, zoning out SRG far away.
Okay, so what you achieve from this pick, right? If you pick up the Lilia, you get late prio. You trump the Angela in a mid versus mid matchup. There's no way the Angela can win that matchup. Then you get out of the lane, you super serve your teammates by applying the damage because you're uncontested in the first 3 minutes or 5 minutes of the game. Come the second turtle, you're actually a force to be reckoned with.
And come big team fights, you almost undo the doorstop that is the Tams, and you even outlast the Hilda because you drop the glooms, you blow them up with the shadow energy, she hides into the bush, and then next thing you know, she comes out. You can do the same thing again. There's very little that it costs Few to push out 2 or 3 members of SRG.
And a little tech there for that it kind of counters the Julian is that the Julian wants to go all in for marksman, your position for, but it's almost like not a choice at all. It's not like going for the Lilia isn't even part of the choices there for Sakai's because it's not worth it.
It's a waste, honestly.
Yeah, again, because of the black shoes as well. Like, if you don't burst in, I mean, like, Few is probably waiting for that to happen just to press the alt.
Not to mention, he also has free ways to check bushes.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, already for 2 games now, prior to this one, Kais has been playing the Ling.
Yeah.
He can come in from any angle. He has a free go at the back line. Now he has to go through bushes, which most likely has a shadow energy or gloom in it. And then he also has to be honest about his engages.
Yeah.
Even if he does have a Hilda checking forward or an Angel as a backup for his entry. It's SRG across game 1 and 2 were a step behind.
Either way, can we say that this Lilia pick was absolute genius?
Yeah,
it really stopped SRG from doing whatever they wanted to do.
It was. It's the anti-assassin build. At the same time, you have the Minotaur to... because you pick up the Lilia, which usually, you know, the mid laners are kind of backed up by roamers. Lilia is very independent. In fact, the Minotaur had a... You know, Ogwyn had a time of his life in a way that he was able to achieve whatever he needed to achieve because he doesn't have to take care of another hero in the mid lane.
What the Lilia Minotaur brings is a mobile box.
Yeah.
The Minotaur defines where the box is, and then the Lilia sets where they can push forward, which is why often in this game we see more than I think the regular game between other teams is the flicker forward Minoan Fury, because you know that the Lilia can follow up.
Yeah.
You know that it's more than just a singular CC to maybe push forward or disengage. It's always CC plus extra.
So part of the loss here, is it that SRG really fumbled the draft?
I wouldn't say they fumbled. I think that it was just an over investment onto answering the Ling. At the same time, you go for the Hilda. It looked like it worked. I think that it's not about them countering the Ling at all. It's more like they're putting their important players in a spot where they're not able to play their game. Storm is not playing the best game of his life. Yumes, I really like him with setup heroes. With your Hilda, you're very honest. No hiding. You're just literally showing everywhere. There's no surprise factor at all.
What's the highlight for the highlight maker if you're a Hilda?
Exactly. No, I agree. But now we got to look at our Sony MVP. And it's going over to Kyle Teasy. So looks like the name of the grand finals is the Ling.
Yeah. It's the Ling.
I'm proud of how Kyle has stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
For the 2 years that they've been a team, for the 2 years that they trusted the process, it's very rare that Kyle Teasy is the one on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And here at MSC, here in the grand finals, there's a lot on Kyle Teasy's shoulders, and I'm glad that he's putting the team on his back.
He went the reverse way when it comes to like being the superstar of the team as a jungler, because usually when you're a star jungler, you start as the assassin / damage dealing jungler that you're always on the highlights. He started. He was known because he's assassin plays, but he got famous because of how well he utilized the utility heroes.
That was the meta at the time.
That was the meta. He did his sacrifice. Now it's time to shine.
And honestly, looking at the way Kyle TZ is playing, it almost like he has multiple ways to carry the game. It doesn't have to be a huge KDA spike, doesn't have to like do any kind of flashy plays, just like you guys said.
Kyle TZ is playing 4D chess. He has so many moves, so many options, despite there being so many doorstops to his birth into team fights. And that's one of the things that you cannot... Wait, no, what?
18 KDA.
That's what I was going to say. That's one of the things you cannot just find in mechanics. That's beyond mechanics.
Yeah. I gotta say, throughout this best of 7 so far, it looks like SRG, they're playing with a handicap, because every single time, the early game, it always goes over to Falcons AP.Bren. And with that being said, yes, you know what, someone has said it, I do say that a lot. Anyways, we're going for a quick break. After this, it's going to be Falcons AP.Bren against Selangor Red Giants. And welcome back. Just to update the score right now is 2-1. We're 2 going over to Falcons AP.Bren. SRG only having 1 point. Welcome back. My name is Rafael. Alongside with me is Wolf as well as Leo. As you guys can see, based on today's games, I'm a little bit tongue-tied.
Yeah. Why, I wonder?
Well,
Who knows, right?
who knows?
Am I right, guys? Am I right?
You have the right to feel that way because
Thank you.
How stressful actually. I think that's a perfect word right now. Even
Dude,
for
I might start bleeding again.
I think overall for all the fans like Filipinos, Malaysians, very stressful. Even in game number 3, you can argue that there were times where you would think like, okay, this is actually winnable for SRG.
Yeah, they had ins.
Yeah.
But the fundamental problem with the draft and what they came in with kind of bit them in the behind. Much like game 1. Is this not the story of game 1? Yeah. Wherein they're like, oh, whoa. It's greedy, but they're making it work. And then, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, now we're jumping back into the draft here. SRG, blue side, Falcons AP.Bren, red side, betting on that Julian. So it has to be a link bank.
It has to be a link bank. I agree.
Take it away.
Take it away. Like we've seen what happens when Skies doesn't get the link.
Get out of here. He's just too good.
Yeah.
That is the most respectful way I can say it.
Yeah.
He's just too good.
Yeah. Or open up the Angela, tempt SRG to pick up this Angela once again. And you know what else is actually forced out when you pick up the Ling, as well as the Moskov? If you go Ling Moskov, you're already very greedy, right?
Yeah.
That means that Cram will be forced to a hero that
skills as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened.
Well, game number 1 they tried for the CC, which almost worked, but then it was still very greedy. Cram is a player that wants to have at least some farm in him, right?
Yeah.
So picking up the Thams, for example, might not be the best solution. And now, if you're looking back at F-Cap, it's the complete opposite. Flap TZ doesn't care about farm. He's that hero, is that player that will pick up the Barretts.
He's a Detna's welcome machine, a final slash machine. It just so happened that whenever we see him on the Arlet, he just goes ham. But yeah, he's happy with just that kind of role.
Okay, so what is opened up here? Louis, Moskov,
Valentina. Oh no, it's banned out. Oh no.
It was banned out.
Yeah.
So Angela as well is open.
I don't want the Angela, man.
I reckon
you want to pick up the Moskov. Yeah, the Moskov is just a very good pick overall. But in this scenario, without the Lingus with the Julian, yes. Hayabusa, but then you also pick up Terizla, I believe. So I think Terizla, it will...
Arlet open for the first time.
Louis as well. Louis Arlet.
That sounds good.
Arlet.
Ooh.
Louis Arlet, and then you wait for the swing, and you pick up the Haya.
Knowing F-Cap, though, they might just go for
the Riz.
The Riz.
Yeah. So you go Louis Riz?
Louis Riz. Arlet, okay. Yeah. Obviously, why would you pass up on a very good combo when Ling is not available?
Is this Flap whispering in Treb's ears like, let me have it?
Now we got a player quote coming in from the assistant coach, Ozora Vecchi from Selangor Giants. Ducky is really smart. Falcons AP.Bren have strong priority picks and good understanding of the meta. He's the reason Falcons AP.Bren is able to stay consistent.
Yeah. Okay, they still want to pick up the Louis because, I don't like it going up against Arlet overall. And then the Claude also is a problem for the Louis.
By picking up the Louis into the Arlet, you essentially feed yourself to a 5-man final slash.
Oh, I love it.
You don't want that.
I feel
love
like
it.
It's risky.
Okay,
here's the thing. Wolf, you like it.
I love it.
For me,
I
feel it's risky.
It's the Fanny. We're talking about the Fanny, folks.
Let's ask the casters. This Fanny pick. Casters, give us your insight.
Here, let me just explain to you. Our reaction to it, well, at least Miracle's reaction was, oh, that's good. And I'm just like, I don't know. I agree with you, LaFell. It is quite risky.
Why is it that us where
that's trauma. That's just PTSD from Malaysians, honestly.
But we've gone through a lot.
Yeah. All the more, I think I'm gonna side I'm gonna err on the side of caution because they picked up on a Kyle TZ, you know.
I see what you did there.
Because again, you bring out the big guns when the Fanny comes through for the first time in the series. This is Kyle TZ's first time on a utility this series. So that means they're ready for this. It came out, what, 5 seconds after the pick?
Yeah, definitely the answer. Oh, also massive combo with the Arlot. But You know what? I think this is the time where it will be damage dealing hero for Flap. So it will be like dependent on like dealing damage. Maybe
Like a pack.
like a pack. Exactly. Which is
Flap
great
on the
versus this Moscow. I think the best hero overall though is Yuzhong with the Petrify. You can actually
You hunt for innocent.
hunt for innocent. You can also hunt for the Fanny. So if you're SRG, if you're paying attention, ban the Yuzhong. That's gonna be a problem
What about
for you.
Faramis?
A Faramis.
Right? Denying the...
Yeah, still no mid laner for
no mid
FCAP.
lane. Yep, there we go. Faramis ban.
I
play MLBB.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Assassins generally don't like playing up against the Faramis,
I
so
understand.
very good ban. You ban Tigreal perhaps if you want to double down.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of... All 3 heroes for FCAP are physical, so the
Yeah.
Tigreal would be a smart ban here.
Yeah. Innate Kira. Oh, okay, of course. Cover your base.
Oh, they're not going to risk it. They'd rather deal with the implosion.
Yeah.
What is Stormy play here?
What if they
Aurora!
what if they pick up the Tigreal themselves?
They can on the
And
clapback.
and then Arlet from Flap TZ, just like in
Ooh.
M5.
Ooh,
That-
just like the other day.
Just like the other day too. So that opens up a lot. Like you already have Implosion, you have the knockup from the Tigreal, they have the Akai with infinite amounts of vengeance juggles here coming out from of the Arlet if ever they do pick up the Tigreal. However, I still feel the Yuzhong needs to be banned here for SRG.
They got to pick their poison.
It's the Crockett.
They're covering up the roamer choices, I see.
I wonder what Humes wants to play because again, he's the highlight maker.
Yeah.
Highlight makers, Joe, Ruby, that kind of picks. Lilia picked up again, so Falcons AP.Bren, they're gonna have priority. So this is making me feel more worried about the Fanny pick.
Yeah, but maybe a Lolita for Humes?
It's fine, yeah.
Going up against a Claude, I think
I don't like the interaction with the Lilia, though. She
Yeah.
just tears through you.
what else? Maybe they snatch a Tigreal, I guess.
But the thing is, Falcons AP.Bren, they have a lot of ways to survive, right? The Purify from the Lilia as well as the Claude, the Akai with the innate Purify as well.
Disengage, yeah.
So it's kind of like, I can see the Tigreal pick, but I feel like it's gonna get countered so hard.
How about Aurora for SRG?
Yeah.
Looks to be Aurora and then Tigreal. That's a really good combo. It opens up a lot. It's
It's the Cho. It's the Cho Novaria.
Chovaria.
Varia. Okay, now FCAP. They are the ones who's gonna pick up Lolita.
Yeah.
Yargle.
SRG have
Do
to
it.
fight very specifically,
Oh,
and they have
man.
to be proactive.
Good start for SRG, but FCAP, the last two.
They found the answer.
They found the answer. Lilia Lolita.
I refuse to give any
A PTK
opinions.
combo.
My job ends here. Thank you very much to the analysts, Mirko as well as Gideon. Good luck for this game.
Yeah, we're gonna need some luck on this one because I think that Lolita pick solves a lot
Yeah.
of the problems.
Oh,
Single
man.
target lockdown, big disengage, big re-engage with the flicker, the shield to say no to innocent for once.
Also, the Lilia with insane mid-prio. So they can actually go for the invades a whole lot. Utilize the Arlet, utilize the Akai as well. Try to go for the purple buff with the Fanny. And if Skies doesn't get the purple buff, I think it really looks like for Falcons AP.Bren, purple buff number 2, they're going to start threatening it.
Well, hopefully it's going to be enough here. Again, a lot of factors are coming into play. Whether or not Cram is able to find that priority to contest for it, whether or not we are going to see the guys make miracles happen once again, this time on an even more dangerous pick for the early game. It's time for game number 4. SRG now on the blue side up against Falcons AP.Bren on the red.
It's the battle for match point for Falcons AP.Bren. 1 game away from match point for SRG, a bit further on the climb. You know, I was talking about how, all right, on the Novaria, it's a great pick, especially considering this is the first time that we get to see Falcons AP.Bren, at least in the knockout stage, on utility, back again. So Novaria provides a lot of good poke, and then obviously when the Lolita came up, it's just like, can't believe I forgot about this, right? The pick that was able to send their bitter rivals, Liquid Echo, in the semifinals out. They were able to counter Edith and carry, it was.
Yeah, and I think that the Cho pick is actually a pretty good substitute for it, right? Because again, you're fighting for that mid-prio. You are going to take some damage. You need some way to kind of not only defend yourself, but clear that waves effectively. Here we go.
Good damage down. Down Flapteezy goes in still. Flapteezy still able to use the vengeance, but now the swing of the hammer skies with first blood.
Did he forget that Fanny was in play? I don't know. That was kind of weird. That was kind of weird from Flap. He definitely could have like completely disengaged, but let's see if they're gonna get.
Ooh.
No! Another one on top of that.
Great start for Selangor Red Giants. A kill onto Skies, a kill onto Cram. That's XP Prio and Jungle Prio.
I think that honestly solves a lot of the problems we were worried about for SRG. Now the early game is actually somewhat doable this time around. Maybe, I don't know, it could just be like blue side being the ultimate side at this point, right? Is that? I think that's what we're kind of devoting it to.
So far that has been the case, and now again, Yum's able to clear out the mid lane. Level 4 advantage for Falcons AP.Bren, but take a look at Flapteezy. Uncharacteristically, not level 4 at the first turtle. Cram swing a hammer down, Flapteezy down to half. Yum's dealing some damage again as Cram pops in a penalty zone. Calteezy in the midst of it all right now on the neutral objective. We'll be able to find this. Flap gets the shielding. Spear of Destruction. One last shot should do it, but Flap again is able to survive with just 1 HP. Skies on the chase, finds him with a flush Flap. Still able to go for a lot of those shots, but the cables are inevitable.
He's mad. Flapteezy's mad. He's like, oh man, maybe Yums just didn't see like the little slight bit of green left on his health. Let's have a look at this one more time. As Skies, again, great call on this one, right? For all we know, Flapteezy, he hits level 4 just in time and tries to sustain through that damage. If he connected with that final slash, that could have bought him at least one more second of time for somebody to find the trade back, especially since Ogwin on this Lolita has single target lockdown with the charge. At this point in time, with Fanny having an EXP lead, that's a great... Wait, now they have Prio over this. Are they going to send the mid lane over to it? No, they're not.
No, it's just back and forth again for SRG. They have this lead, so no real reason to actually force a lot of these fights, and you can get to see that interaction with the Bulwark, sending it back towards the Navaria. But SRG, actually, they're holding out in the mid lane very well, too, when it comes to clear away the Dragon. Locking Ogwin down straight into the Blades of Skies. 3-0.
That was a great idea. This is a great idea. This is why I really liked the Cho pick when we see Yums play. Yes, he wants to make highlights, but at the same time, there's a lot of interesting interactions, and most importantly, he can cancel out Ogwin's Numenon Blast early. He can kick him out of position, and the same can be said about Calteezy when we come down to these Lord situations. It's how do we utilize this way of the Dragon effectively?
Good Black Shoes usage there by Few, able to evade from Skies' damage. But now he's on the purple buff, and Yums will have to buy some space, storming in the mid lane as well, trying to clear it out. Trying to get this Prio for Skies. Calteezy already jumping onto Yums, trying to find a trade for the purple buff. But Yums is going to be caught, forced to flicker out. Super Marco on the chase, the flicker. No flicker. It's just a few recalls. Innocent with a pin down in the mid lane. What happened? Few got picked off.
I mean, everything is happening all at the same time. He's caught mid-rotation here, and now the penalty zone to look for more.
Oh, Spear of Destruction as well. Now he's going to be Innocent. Caught in the final slash, still able to evade right now, but the Numenon Blast is able to connect. He has the Purify. He baited out the Vengeance straight into the kick. Into another spear from Innocent.
Dude, talk about well-played Innocent there, right? He purposefully delays until he sees the engagement, the vengeance coming in from Flapteezy, hit that Purify so that he's stuck. Once he's on top of that Moskov, he's got nowhere else to dash because it goes on cooldown.
Skies with the cables. Oh! He's able to steal it away again! This time a level ahead.
It's not about the players anymore. It's blue side. It's something about blue side, right? It's sorcery. How is this fair? How is blue side so dominant in this game thus far? I thought the draft coming up for Falcons AP.Bren is honestly not that bad, but considering these early interactions not falling into their favor, it looks like SRG really taking advantage of every single bit here. But same like last game, that mid-game spike from Falcons AP.Bren. We need to see that happen. So far, Calteezy hasn't been able to create too many opportunities just yet, but that's all due because some people are getting caught off. Other times, you just don't have the battle spells.
Man, I just keep remembering now with this kind of performance on the Assassins versus the Utility, I keep on remembering and recalling that interview with the Malaysian content creator. What is his name? I think it's DJY. He said, go Assassins. Assassins #1, he said.
Assassins is the way to play the game, right? I mean, look at that. He's already got... Oh, my goodness. At least he's building up to a 2K lead onto Calteezy 6 minutes into this game. But that's when we see Falcons AP.Bren, right? Their comp really comes online once they start grouping up together.
Okay, Super Marco able to read it out. Has the Purify, but now with the cables, the way the Dragon comes in, cut those skies! Wow!
Are we playing on mouse and keyboard or something? He's literally pointing, clicking, that man must die, and they find it each and every time.
It's a target ability for Skies.
Oh, it is. It was about to get even worse for the side of Falcons AP.Bren if they keep on slipping up on these leads from SRG. And right now, the main attack dog, the initiator, Yums, he's doing so much this game.
Doesn't have the way to Dragon here, but will be able to knock him up. FlapTeasy gonna be knocked out. The penalty got canceled by the Sun. KyleTeasy caught on the Astral Echo Innocent. Now with the Abyss Walker as well, very low. No pin down with the Spear of Misery. Good cover from Ogwen. But he's forced to recall out. That's a free neutral objective to the Assassin Jungler.
Honestly, not too bad. At least Falcons AP.Bren aren't giving anything over to SRG besides the turtle. Oh, penalty zone though, onto a few. Forcing them to use that black shoes, not that big of a deal. That's just an alt use. It's not like they're going to fight each other anyways, but SRG, I think they want to invade, and they're considering the options. I mean, they've got the way of the dragon ready. They could do it, but at the same time, the lack of purple buff from Sakai's means that SRG just have to wait.
You can see the difference in level already. This is why the Assassins have been able to find so much more value in this meta. The clear speed is ridiculous. On top of that, how fast you are, so mobile, you can go and catch a lot of these waves that most utility junglers will have to give up. It's a 2-level lead for Skies, so finally, after 3 games, he finds himself ahead in level against KyleTeasy.
Hey man, similar to SRG, Falcons AP.Bren have been known to flip fights over despite having massive losses in the earlier stages of the game. They're great at their timings. Both of these teams have a lot of similarities. Look at Skies, he's again pulling Falcons AP.Bren away from each other, trying to not enable their comp.
These cables from Skies, man. Cram in the mid lane, goes for the penalty zone. Oh, the tenacity on the boots. Gets him out of the heavy spin, he flickers out of it. Meanwhile, down below, Skies!
Man.
What?
I mean, what can you really say about that, right? It's just unlucky, I guess. I mean, FlapTeasy, he's just not, he doesn't have enough stacks. He just got the Thunder Belt as well. He doesn't have enough hybrid defense to survive through it. And even if he does, technically it doesn't matter because Skies has the Malefic Roar. The more hybrid stats, the better it is for me. The more I'll just cut right through it.
Man, Wolf and Leo, they were talking about, FlapTeasy on the Arlet. He should be able to do what he did at M5. He should be able to do what he did just 2 days ago. This is an unreal stat, 0-4-0.
Okay, we can't count out just yet, right? But we know that the game has been accelerated to a point of no return. I think that from both sides, it could be like a quick game for SRG to move on, and Falcons AP.Bren will then take blue side. Or if Falcons AP.Bren really want to slow this down, we're hoping for some big plays from the initiators. Like, if not for FlapTeasy, sure, maybe they can extend and guarantee a fight win, but Ogwen and as well as KyleTeasy need to work with some angles here against SRG. And unless Yums is caught slacking with that Shunpo, because right now he's playing mechanically perfect.
This is a big problem, by the way, for Falcons AP.Bren. Oh.
Even the hand.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Yums recalling, by the way. That's also a problem. It's emotional damage that they are receiving every single tap of the recall. But really for SRG, it's how they're able to utilize the 1-3-1 formation as well. Fanny up top or Moskov up top and then someone else down below. Skies. You blink and you miss that, right? You blink and you die. Super Marco, great reaction time to evade from it. Without the Wind of Nature, he really has to respect Skies' damage. And you can see for Innocent, he's already on to the Lord. KyleTeasy to be chunked down. Penalty zone, locking him down now with the help of Yoji. Good left! He misses the final slash. Skies finds it!
Okay, they're just gonna back away at this point, right? SRG don't need to extend the lead. They've already committed. I mean, they got FlapTeasy's final slash and the flicker as well. Maybe he's just looking for some sort of redemption in these fights, but it's fine, right? Falcons, they can technically lose their outer tier 1 and 2 in mid. They just need to make sure they high ground defense. Oh god,
Skies now. Oh, Skies!
He's out of there. He's out of there.
Oh my goodness!
This kid's insane!
Few now going to be caught in. Innocent able to take him down. Penalty zone locking him down as well. Meanwhile, away the dragon from Yums. Skies again looking for the assassination. Gets knocked up before he can do anything. But they will be able to take some of these turrets. Base turret up top taken down from SRG. 10-0 up against Falcons AP.Bren. Ogwen forced back, forced to flicker out. Still with the Lord. This is the first Lord of the game. And they're looking for an end angle. Skies again with the cables.
Okay. Okay, finally I can breathe here. SRG, they've set up checkmate angle, and we haven't seen a checkmate angle in a long time here at the playoffs, right? A 10k gold lead for the side of SRG, a missing inhibitor from the side of Falcons AP.Bren. On this next lore take, Falcons AP.Bren really need to discuss how they're going to approach this. Yes, they have zone control, but so far, SRG, now that the lore dance is more of a tango than it is a waltz, this push and pull is not in Falcon AP.Bren's favor.
Not at all. It really feels like they're just so far behind, and it is because they are far behind. Super Marco, super far behind, doesn't have the win of nature just yet. So even when he gets that win of nature, Stormy is going to be a constant threat. Remember, the Astral Echo straight into the almost unmissable Astral Spheres. He's going to have to build double time.
Yep.
Win of nature, rose gold, and he's going to have to do it quick, because this snowball is getting out of control.
Yeah, it doesn't help the fact that even if we want to see Super Marco to go for the cleanup, Innocent can almost guarantee deal with him 1v1 because he already has the Winds of Nature in his backpack. With 6 kills on this pan, 3 kills on Moskov, and 1 on Charizla, SRG are in prime position. Now, I think from SRG's side, the difference between this game and the previous is the fact that they were very honest. But now that they have mechanical heroes that really show the skill expression micro-wise, it's really forcing Falcons AP.Bren to take their time, right? Their slow approach has costed them a lot, but right now SRG refusing to make too many mistakes.
Not at all. No mistakes, it seems, right now. Good bulwark there to send it back. Graham taking a whole lot of damage, half HP. Skies again threatening some of these resources. Perhaps Innocent going to be able to go for the invade. Counties, he secures the purple buff. So not losing too much here. But again, Falcons AP.Bren, a big problem that they're going to have to face is the fact that the base turret up top in the far lane has been taken down. And SRG were already winning out early with the 1-3-1. Counties, he got pinned down. Ogwin got baited in towards the jump. Now flickers back, penalty zone. Crab able to find 3 in the now blast, canceled out by the penalty zone. Innocent in the back, finding the spear of destruction. Meanwhile though, Super Marco gets the blazing duet. Flatizi absolutely melted down, but they are able to find a trade. Innocent very low, so able to kite back now with Purify as well. Going back and forth, the bulwark. Trading it back, almost bouncing it away. Skies again, trying to go for the assassination. Will be able to escape with the shielding. A good shot down onto Ogwin. It was all just 1 for 1.
No purple buff diff, and oh my god, Ogwin made that work. No, they wouldn't. They can't, right?
2 seconds on Kyle, 1 second on Kyle on that retribution. Now both up. Yums looking for the play, now going to be taken very low. Still has a way to Dragon Skies on it. That's retribution. Kyle Taze steals it away, recovers it for Falcons AP.Bren. Yums gets gunned down by Super Marco, who's going to go for more, but Innocent again with a spear. Now into the back, but it gets so back. Ogwin, the master at work.
A double kill. You know what? Let's give it to him. Innocent getting a triple kill. One being himself. Dying to the bulwark. Ogwin, 2 times in a row, may have just saved them from the checkmate angle on top of a steal from Kyle TZ. They out-sustained, and the final slash onto Graham. They get this. Well done.
Good displacement. Cram has the penalty zone. Decides to use it onto Few. But a few hammer swings, almost gonna get the trade right now, but gets stunned down. That's another stun into the Vengeance, into the Brooms. But at the bottom lanes, SRG are still able to get rid of the Lord.
Look at this, right? Everybody gets chunked out super low. Like, Innocent wants to stay healthy here, but he's getting chunked out as Few walks forward. Those black shoes really making it annoying. He can take as much damage here as he wants to, take the black shoes back, and now he's basically at full health. And then the steal coming in from Kyle, because the guys couldn't get the reset. What can you really do about that? And you can tell, even backstage, the rest of the members of Falcons AP.Bren, they're loving it. And Yum's probably laughing at his fellow counterpart Goldwyn laner.
I mean, that's an interaction that everybody wants to see in their ranked games, you know? Like the Moskov killing himself against the Guardians bulwark. It's not fun as the Moskov, trust me.
Hey,
not at all.
Just wait for the Star Shatter.
If that actually happens, if you get sniped down by yourself, technically, that'll be the only interaction that tops the Moskov kill, right?
Oh,
good pin down. And it's not the Super Marco. He's able to react in time, but he does save the Purify. Man, the patience on Marco.
It's crazy. It's really crazy because now it's come to a point where Falcons AP.Bren, even if Ogwin gets kicked out of the way, Few can start walking up and get free damage. And more importantly, Kyle TC is now tanky enough to actually push them out of the way. Man, Cram is Wow, okay. Wasn't expecting that much damage to be being pumped out by Super Marco.
Me neither. Skies trying to bait out a few of these abilities. Super Marco in the back already using the Purify right now. As Cram's going to be pinned down as he goes for the penalty zone. Skies are going to play. Missing the cables, getting stunned up. Still able to get the shielding. Now the Few gets the cutthroat. Unable to find for anything else. Few looking for the chase, but Cram is... Oh, there you go. It almost hit.
Almost
Maybe that
hit.
could have been the one.
No, I don't think he would have died just yet, but at this point in time, it just goes to show they've hit their power spikes. They've finally passed the mid-game into the later stages of the game. They're eventually going to outscale Selangor Red Giants in these super prolonged fights. Every time that Guardian Bulwark comes up, SRG has to completely avoid Ogwin. And now, let's have a look at the items so far, because now I'm finally seeing somebody building some magic resist.
We got that Radiant Armor coming in from Cram, but that's the reason he hasn't really been able to soak in as much damage as possible up against Super Marco. Even with the Queen's Wings, he's still getting shredded down, so maybe go, I don't know, at this point, what does he want to go for, right? Like, do you want to go Blade Armor to try to at least push that damage back onto Marco whenever he does go for a shred? Oh, no, you hate to see it! You hate to see it, Skies! He's been perfect all game, he's 6-0! But it happens to everyone. It's not just you in a ranked game, buddy mans. All you Fanny players, it's not just you.
It happens to the best of us, even to the Prince of the Skies. Oh my goodness. All right, regardless, right, it doesn't mean too much at the end of the day, right? There's a good chance that Super Marco probably might have been able to survive that situation, but here comes the Astro Echo to reveal everybody.
Good shot. He's actually half HP, is able to sustain back up with the DHS and that QC. Back to the Lord now. Gonna be choked down. Skies in the back line trying to go for a flank angle. Cram taking a whole lot of punishment.
Oh, this is so interesting. This is so very interesting. Because now they find the angle.
Way the dragon, but it's not going to be baited in. Penalty zone locked them down. They're blast as well. Stacked to be few very low. Still with the help of the damage. Super Marco blazing duet. With the Purify too, chasing onto Stormy, waiting in the back, going back innocent now, finding the kill on the Baptiste as Super Marco gets taken out. SRG are winning the fight. It's Ogwin who's standing in the middle, all alone, the sole member. It's a roamer and he can't do anything, not against Cram.
And that is it. That's game. That's game number 4. 2-2 here from both of these teams. Well done. This is going to go the full series here. I can just feel it down in my bones. Hey, wow. You can see that Stormy, he's positioning in a way so that Ogwin is forced to walk and try to cut off as many angles as possible from that Star Shatter, and that opens the back line entirely when Skies is jumping in, especially when he's targeting some of the members like Few, for an example, and forcing everybody to swing to his side of the map in towards that mid lane. I'm surprised that Stormy got away with what he did just now at a sliver of his health.
Really well played. These chaotic team fights really unfolding and being in favor of SRG. The fact that they were always able to find these ridiculous team fights. Those angles were ridiculous. Stormy, he was alone. He was playing like the Fanny, looking for flanks, shooting them from off angles. And it really made Falcons AP.Bren think about all these different angles to a point where they completely forgot about the direct engage from Cram, from Yums.
I think it also comes down to just conditioning, right? Every single time Stormy shoots it, he's always making sure, hey, I'll do it off a cooldown. With that being said, analysts, please take it away.
We have a series now. It's 2-2, so what? This is now a best of 3? The first guy that wins 2 more games wins it all.
And it's mainly because we are now looking at a comfortable Yums and a comfortable Stormy, and of course a comfortable Cram. And you can see them laughing even when they just literally lost a team fight that could have gone really badly for them. They were still laughing. It's because they are comfortable in their own skin. We are seeing like Sakai is just... Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar about your game. Guys, what a beast with a Fanny. However, yeah, Yums with a choke, you know that it's you know that he is making all of the plays that's necessary for his team. I believe that the Terizla is such a great pick for Cram because it just fits perfectly what he wants to achieve as a player. So I think this should be the hero configuration.
Like the priority.
SRG. Exactly.
How perfect is it that we go full circle? You start off saying, shut down Flap. Flap is one of the catalysts for FCAP success, and they did so in the first 2 minutes of the game. They put Flap on what, 0-3?
0-4 at a certain point.
Right?
Look at this, look at this.
This is,
And
yes.
to some level, even Few couldn't play. Even Few from mid on that Lilia, with the Purify, with the Black Shoes, couldn't survive our SRG's aggression. This is FCAP bullied into a corner. Even if they did have a comeback angle in the late game, it was just too little too late.
Yeah, I think now that you're gonna be thinking like, surely the Akai works a lot, but I think that FCAP, they're the ones that aren't comfortable in their own skin. I think they really want to play forward. They want to make sure that they have this claw to go to the late game. However, it wasn't enough in the end. Yums was phenomenal with the Cho. I believe the way that he spaced out in the early stages, and I think it was the Fanny was indeed the problem here.
Can I say I'm impressed by how the players are looking so calm and so composed because let's see here. My heart rate is 111. I don't know how they can take it.
I remember back in M5 when there was an actual notification.
Yeah, I had a notification. It's like, bro, your heart too fast. Calm down.
You gotta relax. You gotta relax.
Last time that happened, they went 7.
Oh yeah, it could go all the way because right now they're trading blows, and like our caster said, both teams like blue.
Yep, so far blue side, because you get the Ling, you force your opponents to react towards you, and in this case it's going to be the Fanny, so there will be a little bit of a change up for sure. I think that Falcons AP.Bren might want to consider getting to the blue side once again, and I think the main reason why is because of the presence of the chip. It's like an auto ban.
You have 2 bans.
Yeah, a mandatory ban, I would say. So that really opened up this Fanny, because the Ling was already banned out, and then they had to be forced to pick up the Fanny. You know?
Yeah. Despite the pick advantage that I'd argue FCAP had, right? Especially in that last phase wherein they got the Lolita finally, and then the Lilia going up against a Cho and a Novaria.
Yeah.
The play was just what put SRG over. Constant aggression, timing out wherein you're expecting to be able to hold in. Like in the early game in the XP lane, SRG said, "Nuh-uh, FCAP, you ain't playing."
I like how they dealt with it. It's like, okay, let's ignore mid lane because we are not gonna win mid lane anyways. Let's just farm. I'll clear the waves from Novaria. I'll pop second skill and first skill. I'm gonna be okay. I'll just get out of there, and then come the mid game, I'm very strong. Fanny did the heavy lifting in the early stages of the game.
Speaking of which, that's our Sony MVP. We gotta check out Sakai's on this Ling. I mean, at this point, like, if they win it all, this is, I would say, a good contender for MVP of the Grand Finals.
Fanny. Playing the Fanny.
Yeah.
Yep. Sakai's the limit, as we've mentioned. I think in the he was part of the first 2 kills. I'll be honest, guys. I went to the comfort room, and then when I get back, it's a 2-0 already for the Fanny.
What happened?
What happened?
It was a 6-0 even, as bad as that. Like a few minutes later.
I was very fast.
It takes a very special kind of jungler, a very special kind of assassin player to do what Sekais did here.
Yeah.
He looked at the knob for aggression and turned it up to 11.
Can we talk about his retribution as well? I mean, like, it wasn't really on display for this game. I mean, like, he was able to steal that one, but a lot of steals, even from yesterday, coming in from Skies.
And that's most important. And look at this. They already know that they can initiate. I think Super Marco popped the Purify way too late. Could have gotten out of that, but yeah.
He looks stone cold.
He looks focused.
I think for Yums, it is more rewarding for him to be overly aggressive, and that even when he doesn't have the immediate heroes around him as his teammates, there's always that Fanny factor that is gonna be counted as almost a global hero at that point, especially when you're dominating like that. And it kind of allowed Yums to be to have easy decisions to actually go for initiations.
Yeah, I think that's another key to SRG's success. If you want to keep him winning, number one, put him on heroes that they're comfortable with, or wherein the roles that they're fulfilling are roles that allow for them to get their game plan online. Second is, maybe we're of the mindset that macro is the only way to win. With SRG entering the Grand Finals picture, maybe actually just team fighting up until your opponent can't out macro you anymore is a valid strat. Because that's what happened here.
No, legit, I agree. I'm a big fan of team fighting here, but for now, we have a special bit here where Eterna and Wheezy are talking to the founders of the team, so let's check it out.
Hi guys, it's Eterna here backstage at MSC 2024 with the founder AP as well as the director Jab from Falcons AP.Bren.
And Steph Weezy here, joined beside me. I have Simon, the co-founder for the Selangor Red Giants, and I also have Nishi, the team manager. Now, we've got some questions for you guys. The Esports World Cup is an event with multiple game titles all across the globe, and MSC 2024 for Mobile Legends Bang Bang being one of them. How does that make you feel about MLBB being a part of this event?
I feel very grateful that Esports World Cup actually recognized MLBB and take them in part of the discipline in the Esports World Cup. So it's fantastic. It's very good for the ecosystem for Mobile Legends community in whole globally.
So we're gonna throw the exact same question. Did you guys hear it from Weezy? Okay, we're gonna start with you, AP. What do you think about MSC this year?
It's very excited because this is the first EWC. We want to show to the whole world that the AP brand, Falcons AP brand, will still the #1 MLBB in the whole world.
I mean, it's looking like it right now, obviously. But you guys have heard the chants. You guys have heard the support for Falcons AP.Bren, and you're not even in your home country. By the way, what do you guys think? How do you feel to be celebrated at this magnitude? We'll start with you, Jen.
Really appreciate all the fans that came in, even our countrymen just visited from far away and just flew in to Riyadh just to support our team. Even the locals, we really like the attention and all the cheering, all that. I think you can hear it too. So we're very, very appreciative of all that.
Now, Nishi, I'm going to extend you the same question. How does it feel to be celebrated on this magnitude? And also, in addition, what message would you have to give out there to the fans supporting the Selangor Red Giants?
Yeah, first and foremost, I feel very grateful that there are some of our players' family that come to here, support us, and also the Malaysian around Saudi Arabia that come today for us. And also, not to forget, our fans from Malaysian and our SRG fans at Malaysia. All right, thank you.
So you guys, we don't want to hold you guys too long. I know you guys are just as nervous as we are. So we had final statements for Falcons AP.Bren, especially the audience who really came through today, and especially for those of them who are watching online. AP, do you have a message to them?
Thank you to all the Filipino fans and the fans of Falcons AP.Bren. And I hope that it will be a good match, and I congratulate the SRG as our grand finalist here in EWC. Yeah.
All right, that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to send it back to the studio.
No final words from Simon?
I think there's Serumpun.
Okay, I would like to hear some words from him. But you know what? MLBB, let it be a mainstay here at EWC. It's been great so far, hasn't it?
Long live MLBB.
Long live MLBB. We're only a few seconds away from entering the draft. Right now, it's a 2-2. So at this point, it's a best of 5. The first team to win 2 games is going to win it all. So again, it's just reset over reset. 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. Yep. What if it's like 3-2, 3-3? It's going to be insane.
I think that's key for FCAP right now. They are in a, I'd say, unfamiliar territory, but that's not true given that they did suffer a 4-0 loss in the grand finals. They did not get a chance to reset there. Now I think the reset is all the more important.
Hey.
It's clear that the picks have to be adjusted for. Here it is again. But also, you have to recall that the tempo has changed.
Yeah, and I also want to say, and I hate that I only remember this now. The grand finals for Falcons AP.Bren, or when they were Bren in M2 and then in M5, they all went 7 games, so they all went the distance.
Are we cutting through multiple timelines now?
Yeah.
Are we throwing back to 3 years ago and to 6 months ago?
I mean, 3 years ago feels like yesterday.
Across 3 different parts of the world: Singapore, the Philippines, Riyadh.
Yeah. I think I'll be happy to be,
take all the best parts of that.
Yeah.
Inject a new superpower in MLBB. Revitalize Malaysian MLBB.
It's the new landscape, right? It's the new competitive landscape. But again, we're jumping into the draft here. I believe even before we see the pick and bans, whoever has blue side has this innate advantage. Like when you have teams that are more or less equal in strength, whoever has the priority just has a little bit more advantage.
Is this Project Next in MLBB Esports?
Project
Yeah.
next Project Forward. Maybe that's the new one, Project Forward.
Project Next.
Hey, I think this is the only way to go, right? Forward. For years now, we've played in a macro-centric metagame. We've played wherein trading and cross-map plays matter. With SRG here at the grandest stage of them all, I'm glad to see that, hey, team fighting, skirmishes, and getting kill after kill after kill
Yeah.
is what pays off.
Just to update, looks like the bans have started. Falcons AP.Bren has banned out Angela, Teresa, and Moskov. Looks like they are going to be on blue side first pick. SRG is going to be red side second pick. SRG banned out the Chip, the Julian, as well as the Ling. Falcons AP.Bren and SRG. Probably Roger first pick?
Harith and Roger are both open.
Roger
it's gonna
first
be
pick.
the Roger first pick for FCAP. And that means...
Does SRG go Fanny?
What about the Harith, right?
Fanny Harith? Yeah, that works.
Harith Valen?
I think
Nobody-
I love the idea of the Fanny, actually.
Nobody cares about Loyi anymore, man.
Yeah.
Louis so last week.
Loyi so 3 days ago.
Yeah, Louis so 3 days ago.
Yeah.
People move on, man. Like, it's a fast-paced game. You gotta adapt to the meta.
I like the odds for I really like the odds for the Fanny. I would be very happy to see another
there we go.
Sakai's Fanny.
Valentina Harith.
Okay, Harith and Valentina, very strong combo, obviously.
Pick up the Terizla at this point, right?
Yes.
Pick up the Terizla for Falcons AP.Bren. Denying it away from Cram.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. Terizla is banned.
Oh, Teresa's
Terizla is
banned.
banned.
Okay, so... Oh, this is...
Pick up a Farsa.
so difficult to kind of think there. Do you want to go Farsa against Valentina? Yes, 100%. Apart from that, you pick up Arlet. Arlet is open, right?
Yep.
It's open.
But Roger Arlet not... Okay, here we go. Okay.
Or you can go crazy and just pick up a Claude and then put the Roger in jungle.
Or a
It's
Moskov.
early.
Oh, the Moskov
Moskov
ban.
Wait, they pick up the Fanny?
And the Phobius!
Fanny Phobius?
That's why I really thought that the Fanny should have been picked
Hayabusa.
by SRG. Do they? So they answer the Fanny with the Hayabusa? Is
No,
that
it's
how it is?
If you don't pick it up, it's gonna get banned.
Yeah.
Unless you have something like a Hellcrit in mind.
Yeah, well,
Or Saber.
again,
It's
this is
crazy
phobias
stuff.
that they're facing. So you need physical damage too to match up against this Fanny.
Wow, Kyle wants to show up his Fanny as well.
I think, are you forced to go Alpha this time on? Yeah.
What about Batsia?
Okay.
It's
It's
Alpha.
Alpha.
There you go.
Yeah, you're forced to. You're really.
Okay. I'm gonna take the casters here. This is quite the loop here. What do you guys think of the opener for both teams? Falcons AP.Bren, they pick up the Fanny. SRG have to respond with the Alpha.
I'm not gonna lie to you, LaFell. I had a sneaking suspicion. Nobody just lets Harith go for free, but at the same time, the Alpha on top of it all, it's a little uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, I think, last game when I saw the Fanny for SRG, I was like, all right, great. But the Alpha, not doing it, not doing me the same, not giving me the same feelings, definitely, especially considering the Phobius. He's gonna get so many procs. Luckily, I would say that the Valentina technically can steal away that ultimate, so there's a good response there at least.
Well, the Barats gets banned out, so that's kind of good. Like, I feel like if they're able to do something to flap TZ, like, that might be a way for them to win this one on the red side.
For those who are a little bit confused, yes, it's usually few that handles the Phobius. So this is going to be a mid lane Phobius.
I don't foresee this being in Flap's hands.
Yeah.
You still need a solid, I'd say, hunker down type of hero in Flap's hands if this is the first 3 picks for FCAP.
Yeah. I wonder if SRG are considering getting the Esmeralda for... but that means that they will be so focused on magic damage.
It's so reactive.
Yes.
It's again, the story of the Hilda all over again.
Yeah. What I do want to see is Uranus for SRG. However, I believe that the best option here, honestly, for SRG is to pick up a Yuzhong. Lapu Lapu seems an okay pick, but I think the Yuzhong just...
Wait, what about a Grok here? Grok or Cho?
Cho is great overall for SRG.
I'm not so sure if this single-handedly blocks out the Ruby, because Ruby will also proc the Phoveus.
Yeah, that's true.
Might even go into the hands of Ogwin.
Might just go Tigreal at this point.
Tattoo's still open here.
SRG.
You also don't want to Cho, one of Hume's favorite.
Yeah. Or, what if this is the game that they pick up Hilda? The Malaysian reacted.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
That's for those who don't know, actually, we cannot see Lafell right now, like our line of sight. Yep, that's the Tigreal. Makes a lot of sense.
Good against the Fanny early, good against the Roger.
Thank goodness. I mean, okay, Gideon, what would you react if they pick up the Hilda?
If they picked I saw his reaction. He was shaking his head already. He was smiling uncomfortably. You called it, Wolf. It was the Malaysian reaction is not good to that Hilda.
I was about to drive my fist through a wall if that was going to be the case.
Yeah. Okay, we're looking for XP lane, or maybe a FAMS perhaps for Mr. Flap. Yeah, or they pick up the Yuzhong actually. So they move forward.
But the Valentina is there too, so it's a bit of a risk. Like it's a good pick, but you know there are risks. Maybe even like Lapu or something.
Okay, Edith and Tams as predicted. Okay, now you're left with the Cram hero, right?
Yep.
Ah, that's this. I think you're stuck with the Borg.
I'm okay with the Borg.
Or if you wanna be risky, go for the CC.
I think the Borg is best. You're gonna need all the extra health you can get.
All right, they pick up the Borg indeed.
Perfect.
Got him.
Thank you very much, analysts. You guys are doing an amazing job in the drafting phase. Speaking of which, casters, you guys are doing an amazing job casting this game. So why don't you guys do that?
Thanks for allowing us to do our jobs, Lafell. The match is about to commence. The points dead even, 2-2 in a best of 5. Well, game 5 in a matter of fact, best of 7. Oh my. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted with this. I don't think anybody was expecting Malaysia to have a performance like this against the Filipino representatives of FCAP nonetheless.
It goes to show you the right side of the bracket that most people said was an easy bracket. How easy was that bracket if this is the grand finals we get to witness?
I don't know, but if SRG is able to take it all the way, it begs the question about all their competitors before them. But it's time as we head into the land of dawn to prove the theory whether blue side is going to maintain its 100% win rate here in the grand finals with Falcons AP.Bren up on blue, SRG up on red.
Let's take a look at this composition, right? The Alpha. I think it's going to be very, very good, especially in the early game. It's really all going to come down to how they can shut down the Fanny. I think it's a similar vision for SRG. Falcons AP.Bren had in the previous game, which was go and invade purple buff number 2. Try to just take the purple buff away from the Fanny. And that's what Athamas does, find a lot of pressure here. But honestly, when it comes towards, you know, the later stage of the game, I don't know how the Samus will play out against, you know, the Harris, the Alphas, where they're going to be able to actually kind of burst him down. And the Vengeance won't really have the same effect as it did for Falcons AP.Bren like it did back in game number 2 for SRG.
No, I can agree with the sentiment here, but I think, you know, especially when you do have the Thamus, it kind of opts to tell you, like, I want to have some form of control and dueling power. Oh, God.
And this is it. The Spear of Alpha straight into under the turret skies. Finds first blood again. Calteezy, though, looking for the trade back. Cram under turret, able to flicker out. Skies in the bush. And Calteezy will be able to escape for now. Earth Shatter, flicker onward. Combo together. Kyle gets the response.
They should have been a little bit more decisive on that one. Do you back away or do you just hold your recall? I mean, you're basically dead anyways, but at least they got the flicker out of Ogwin. It's 1-1 in terms of kill score. Everybody's just fighting back for that lead, but this allows Flapteezy to actually try and recover in his lane. He's going to freeze it right underneath his turret, and that's just great for him because as soon as he hits level 4, he's going to be a problem.
And now for Falcons AP.Bren, that level 4 power spike is going to be massive as well, by the way.
Huge.
Few, Demonic Force is all he needs. Technically for Ogwin as well with the Primal Wrath, and it will create a position or a situation where it's going to be very hard for Stormy. Does he steal the Primal Wrath? Does he steal the Demonic Force? Well, that's your answer. He goes for the Primal Wrath over the Demonic Force. So let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think for now, especially in the earlier stages of the game, there's taking the Demonic Force, especially the only person you can really punish is Kyle TZ, right? But even then, these cables are really good. They can cover a lot of distance at a time, and even pulling yourself away from the Demonic Force in a lot of these cases, right? So I think that taking the Primal Wrath is going to be the most optimal. It's good, it's versatile, it keeps you alive in a lot of situations as well. But in the meantime, I'm curious about the status of Innocent dealing with Super Marco. Let's have a quick look at how the state of the lane is going, because I'm guessing that both of these gold laners, they are going to play a little more passively. Oh!
Flicker Implosion, good one by Yum, straight into the shove. Cram holding on to the last Insanity. Primal Wrath used up, and now it's the last Insanity to blow him up in the back line. Kyle TZ find a trade, and it's going to be 1-for-1 right now. XP traded for Rome. Flap TZ. No vengeance on him. Good Terrify from Stormy. Forcing out a Demonic Force from Few. And just like that, SRG, they're playing their cards really, really well. Now with the cooldown on the Demonic Force, no resets, they should be able to take the turtle for free.
We do see the hand cams from these players. They're trying to increase their APM here, right? They're going in and out of their shop just to make sure that their fingers are warm for when the situation calls for it. But let's see. This turtle is going to be important for both sides here, and ideally, SRG wants to stall it out.
Again with the Earth Shadow, Kyle TZ into the back line with Flap. TZ Sky is going to be bursted down by Kyle. Picks up the killing spree straight into the turtle. That's free. But it's for Falcons AP.Bren. Cram trying to kite away. Faraga armor down. Kyle TZ's looking for the assassination, but Cram was able to flicker out and space himself out properly.
And what am I telling you, all right? That's why you have Thomas on your side. You're able to kind of buy just a little bit of time, but most importantly, your damage is so applicable. If you win any single one of your trades in these side lanes, then you start calling the attack dog, Kyle TZ, to start finishing up these kills for you, similar to how SRG did it, except with Yums.
Slowly but surely for Falcons AP.Bren, that's always been the way they take their games, at least the winning games, right? It's all about building the gold lead very steadily, utilizing the macro advantage, and then suddenly going for a big team fight with that power spike hitting.
Well, regardless, at this point, I think that even between Kyle TZ and as well as Sakai, if you look at the gold in favor of Kyle TZ, a slight EXP lead for Sakai, and that's going to change very quickly since there's plenty of camps up still left for Kyle.
By the way, I didn't really notice this at the start of the game, but it fuse on Brave Smite on the Phoveus. So I would say it's an interesting emblem to take, right? Because usually you would maybe want to go for Impure Rage, try to get more mana, stuff like that, all about sustain. Kyle TZ wants to go for the assassination, though, finds it in the bottom lane. Xborg, usually you can sustain, usually you can get out, but Flap TZ just munching on that Faraga armor.
I mean, when you get ganked 3 times like that, you know, how many times has he been canceled a recall? How many times has he had to sacrifice himself and trade down against Falcons AP.Bren? And to answer your question, why Few decided to go for Brave Smite is because he bought first item Gleaming Gem, right? Every single time he gets a level, he's going to be able to get some mana as well as HP. Speaking of which, Ogwen.
Good shove down. Ogwen forced to use the Primal Wrath. Oh, baits out the implosion too.
Oh no. Is this a dive angle? You know that Harith doesn't have the Zaman Force.
For now, not yet.
I think, all right, at this point of time, right, if we are really thinking hard about this, I think that Falcons AP.Bren are in a much better position than SRG. They know that a majority of the ults are down, so whoever's low, quickly reset, come back. We need to do this fight. We need to potentially have a fight, but at the very least, blitz down this turtle.
You can see Flap's damage there, zoning Yums away. And you can see for Selangor Red Giants, they know that there is no way they can contest for this turtle, not with their HP bars. And they'll decide to back away. Just deja vu to game 1, game 2, where they had to come back in the game. Innocent going to be engaged on, forcing the Zaman Force out. But Innocent is able to space out in a way where if you can't really go for the chase, it'll be too greedy to do so. Cram in the mid lane, just poking Ogwen down.
Well, they're going to take their time with the skin. FCAP, they've been like slowing things down a lot. Ooh, Thunderbelt first item coming in from Flap TZ just to make sure that it's like, oh no, I'm not trying to War Axe, I'm trying to get real tanky so that at least even late game I have some form of relevance there. Now he's opting to build a War Axe, but he's going to take some time with this, right? At the end of the day, the most important ones are the insurance policies, and that's going to be in their gold laners. I'm seeing Super Marco and as well as Innocent both contesting pretty heavily, but it's going to be Super Marco who has the lead for now.
Sky's there, Spear of Alpha, able to catch him, but Kyle still has the energy, has the purple buff to escape. We got a game fact, but hold out, Flap TZ going in, forcing Yums to shove back.
Well, game fact here. We were always talking about blue side being the heavily favored side. Wait, no, they're fine. Okay, blue side being the heavily favored side, but honestly, in this grand finals, 100%, but overall, 60.44% win rate overall in 91 games, and that's a lot of data that we're working with. It just goes to show, man, if Falcons AP.Bren win, it's to be expected.
It's the pattern of even the MPL regions. Blue side has just been such a dominant force, and I guess with the patch, even more so. Flapteezy and Ogwin, though, again, really trying to control the enemy jungle. Flapteezy just trying to maybe even invade some of the creeps here. Krem going for the poke. Ogwin able to onward defensively. Falcons AP.Bren know better than to go for the fight. They know that they have an advantage now with the Fanny to clear out the side waves, to actually shove it and force SRG to lose some XP and gold.
I totally agree with you here. I mean, look at how shoved up the waves down on that bottom side, right? And at this point, Falcons AP.Bren can keep on doing this. Keep stretching Selangor Red Giants, start taking away their tier 1s, but most importantly, with the attention being pulled elsewhere, this purple buff for Kyle TZ is always free. It's not being taken away from him just yet.
Ooh, Kram. Faraga armor completely demolished there. The shove back, Flapteezy still with a vengeance. And now it's going to be Kalteezy jumping to the back line. Stormy trying to go for the Terrify, gets absolutely obliterated. Few in the midst of it all, still able to get the demonic force, but Kram melts him down with the fire.
Oh, for now, good peel, but at the same time, they are still trading 1-for-1. Haven't seen a positive trade from Selangor Red Giants in the past 8 minutes or so. And until we do see that trade happen, I think that, you know, they're going to take their time once again. The scaling on Innocent especially, they need him to have that Holy Crystal have some relevant damage in this game. Because so far, Kyle TZ, he's having the time of his life, right? He's playing a completely separate game while SRG are scrambling to figure out how we close down on this 4K deficit.
It's going to be very, very hard for SRG, but really it's all about, I feel like in this game it's a bit different too, right? Because in game 1, game 2, the games that they were able to come back despite losing out in the early game, they had a composition that does well in the mid game. Meanwhile here with the Harith, you're not forced to get the early lead, but it'll be better. It'll be optimal for you to have that early lead, to build your own snowball. And if we do get to the later stage, Falcons AP.Bren, they have a marksman. They still have a lot of these skirmish-heavy heroes that are pretty good in the late game too, man. I mean, even Flapteezy, his build on the Thamus, he can take as much damage as he can deal.
Yeah, and he doesn't mind poking, right? Because that just helps him stack up that hybrid defense regardless. And you can definitely see the difference between the two because, unfortunately, Thamus is taking a lot less damage than Kram despite the 2-level lead, right? And more importantly, it feels like Stormy is having the hardest of times. Because what ultimate do you take at this point in time? Even if you take the Demonic Force, there's not many people who proc it.
Oh, Kyle trying to go for the assassination onto Stormy. Stormy's still able to displace himself very well there. And SRG, now with the conceal Yums. Looking for a play. Knows Flapteezy doesn't have a Purify, but doesn't want to go for it just yet. View Demonic Force into the midst of it all. It's a 2v5 right now. And now it's going to be Kalteezy looking for the backline. Primal rather Yums finds the implosion on the 2 members straight into Innocent. Now with the Zaman Force, but he's going to be changed CC. Still surviving. Kram finds a double. Ogwin going to be slashed by Skies. Somehow, some way, the Red Giants always find a way.
Oh my goodness. They catch 3 there. And just a sliver of health from Yums as well. That 3, those important calls from the side of SRG is what's really defining them as why they are a threat to Falcons AP.Bren. Great implosion coming in from the side of Yums. Innocent, he did, I would have liked him to use that Purify just slightly earlier, but let's look at the replay here, because when it does happen, right, Few initiates. His objective is to chunk out as many people as possible. Sakai's, he probably could have held his ground just a wee bit longer, but wasn't expecting Yums to get so much there. Because Super Marco, at the end of the day, is waiting to finish off all the low members, and that's the main win con here for FCAP.
Slowly but surely, now it's SRG's turn to take it slow. They got the Lord. No real reason to go for the fights now. They can start going for the turrets. And we were talking about how for SRG, it would be great if they can somehow build their own snowball. And it happened right as their window opened. That was their power spike. Innocent getting into the mid-game, 10-minute mark. And now with the Lord in the mid lane, they're starting to get some structures down as well. Yums to the flank. The conceal spotted by Ogwin. Primal Rat stolen away. Falcons AP.Bren gotta respect this. Marco dealing some damage onto the Faraga armor. Now the Holy Defense going to be procced in the mid lane. No, they keep it alive. So far for SRG, they've only managed to take mid and top, and they're actually going to lose a tier 2 down below.
Kyle Teasy this entire time just headed down to the bottom side. He knew that he's basically going to be useless if he has to take a traditional front-to-back against SRG. So he opts to take the on the opposite side of the map. At least his team doesn't have to worry about that side. Super Marco with the GDS already just knows he's going to get attacked, he's going to purify, he's going to transform, and just walk away and maybe look for a re-engage down the line. But most importantly here, I think that SRG, and especially for Sick Guys, for him to start the fight is a bold claim. I think that Falcons AP.Bren, they want SRG to find these big engages more often than not so they can initiate, right? It's really that implosion that they're worried about. They don't want to repeat the same mistake twice.
Great cross-map plays here by Falcons AP.Bren, able to find another tier 2 turret. And these are small wins. It won't win you the game instantly, but slowly but surely, just with the tempo shifting, and with Falcons AP.Bren having so much more prio on the map later on, especially considering, you know, they can shove a bit deeper, they can start invading, they can start looking for these angles that the composition will definitely find a lot of value with, right? If they are able to attack from different angles, force SRG into a non-front-to-back, it'll be great for them. Spear of Alpha onto Ogwin, straight with the fire to Ogwin, force a flicker with the Primal Rat, now Cram! Last Insanity, straight to the skies, and now it's gonna be Cram still kiting away. Few with the Demonic Force, now with the Vengeance as well, but he gets bursted down. Now Kyle looking for some more damage. Few jumping around, but gets caught by the Spear. Skies on a killing spree, Marco keeps on going, finds a double. The turn to ties around Innocent in the midst of it all, looking for the play. Crown has the Faraga armor back up. Super Marco forced to run away.
And that's the GDS diff. That is the GDS diff. Clean him up, Kyle. Fight. Oh, he doesn't spot him. Crab. Oh no, he walks out. He's trying to do it all over again. He ends up giving it Crab. Lost his cool at the very end, dude. He had no idea. But yes, the GDS difference there. Gets the Faraga armor, uses the last Insanity, kites away from it. And even Innocent, honestly, the placement of the Zaman Force actually mattered. The 10% slow could have been what they needed to win out that fight entirely. Let's start with the position of Yums. Just look at where he's positioning, right? He knows he spots out Kyle and completely shuts off that zone, and Kyle quickly turns around. Now, if Kyle got his damage down in, then Super Marco has the green light.
Innocent, though, dealing a whole lot of damage. Ogwin, even with the Primal Rep, gets completely obliterated. Kaltizi into the back. Eum's doing the same thing again. Stormy able to flicker out with the Primal Rat's ties. Finds the Retry again. And Few is all but alone amongst the Red Giants. But even then, SRG, they say, no, we will not fight. We got the Lord.
This is becoming brutal combat. Honestly, they're putting everything on the line to make these plays work out. Let's look at the replay one more time to catch up on what exactly happened. Once again, Yum starts walking forward. Despite being a man down, right? We do see that Innocent able to outplay the situation thanks to the help. He plays literally almost on top of Yums as he flickers forward to try and catch as many people possible.
Now it's about them utilizing the enhanced Lord. Kaltizi was able to secure the orange buff. Now in the mid lane, Flapteezy to get a bit of damage. The Blood Wings already done from Innocent. Look at the burst damage onto Flap, forced to use the ultimate as the Lord charges in. Innocent still holding on to Zaman Force, knows that there are going to be more waves. Few brought back to the team, now forced to use the Demonic Force. Absolutely gunned down from the skies with the Demonic Force. It didn't even matter.
That was disgusting. That was disgusting. He literally got behind him and pushed him back into the team. This could be an end angle here.
Oh, Gwen, Earth Shatter not connecting. Now with the Spear of Alpha from Skies, unable to connect. It seems they are struggling. Kaltizi gets bursted down right as he cables in. The base wide open. Selangor Red Giants take match point.
They're the first to touch it. MY, 3-game win so far in this best of 7. They need one more to get the title here. All smiles on their faces, but oh my goodness, nobody would have expected it to be in this fashion.
SRG find themselves in the lead. They were looking up the whole time, but they forgot they were giants. They could stand toe-to-toe even with the Falcons.
It feels like every moment passing for SRG, the momentum is driven behind them. They're motivated, they are young, they're hot-blooded, but most importantly, they're standing taller and taller each game. Falcons AP.Bren truly have a competitor.
For the first time in this tournament, Falcons AP.Bren are the ones behind.
With that being said, analysts, please break this game down.
Well, the first thing that we can say, I guess, even on red side, you can still do it. But yeah, looking at this game,
Yep.
it's a roller coaster, man.
That to me was the game changer. 10 minutes in, Yums with a sliver of HP just survives long enough to pop the implosion and eventually punish the entirety of Falcons AP.Bren. Again, another stumble for Falcons AP.Bren. Will be a good team fight as Few will be able to pop the ultimate and then kind of sacrifice for his team Super Marco to clean up, as well as Kaltizi. But then it will be disaster after disaster. This should not have happened because Falcons AP.Bren are already leading by so much. But then, because of what Yums did and what Innocent will be able to do in the next Lord fight, that is how SRG are able to come back.
It's the brutal honesty that SRG are playing with that makes this game inevitable for them. I've been watching all of these engagements, going through different angles, whether it be out in the open, near SRG turrets, in these small corridors, and I don't know, Few at this point, 15 minutes in, should be able to disperse him, but something about the way SRG just position themselves and punish Few as he lands every time makes it almost a useless ult.
Honestly, like every single time SRG wins a team fight, my head is like, how?
Exactly.
Like, where's the extra damage coming from? I mean, like, sure, we see the setup, maybe Falcon AP.Bren walks into it, but still, it's like, how? Like, you know what, in terms of stats, you know what I really want to see? Ooh. The damage dealt. I really want to see who dealt the damage coming in from SRG.
And conversely, for FCAP, it was only Oracle as a defensive item here for Few. That's why that person down so easily. He went for glowing wand. He wanted to deal the damage, despite the fact that there's already a lot of damage from FCAP.
And the clock only really stacks up the longer the fight goes, but I think the call for SRG was just rain down holy fire on Phovius, on Few, and that's why he only ever lasted like 3 seconds tops.
Ooh, interesting choice. And even the choice for the Thams coming out from Flap TZ, I did say that the Thams will be picked up. It's one of my predictions in the last weeks, and I thought that it will be because it was a tank hero with in the absence of like a Barrett, of usually your tank heroes like Edith, maybe in the EXP lane. You need someone to tank for you, but instead the choice was to go for this war cry on the Thams, which, you know, evidently it worked in the early stages. Not gonna lie, we were about to nerd out about that, but in the end, it proved to be the bane of FCOP.
One thing to like nerd out is that you were talking about there was one team fight that really wanted for SRG. Honestly, the extra damage came from Edith. It is the Valentina's.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like that's also a big game changer where everyone is clumped up together. And then Stormy was able to deal a lot of damage, and Innocent got to his power spike, and then the Harif was banned for a reason.
Yeah. It was that fight that made me think, hey, that's a lot of turret hit they were taking. It wasn't turret hits. It was Stormy.
It was Stormy, yeah.
Stormy, yeah. And this time...
Stormy the Prodigy, man.
Yep. It's Harif plus the Valentina, which was the answer. I do like the idea, though, the Phovius plus the Van. In fact, I'm looking at FCAP in this particular game. I don't think that there's any problem with their hero lineup. I think it was the execution, definitely. You see, they kind of felt very confident.
Yeah, too confident that they made decisions along the way that slowed them down, or that allowed for SRG to punish. Again, the items on Few, the loadout on the Thams, and I guess they didn't step on the clutch fast enough to say, hey, wait, this is SRG's point of no return. Like, if we can't win here and we can't end, that's it. I think there were parts of FCAP that were towards one direction, and then another that tried to, you know, save the game.
Yeah. And now we got to look at our Sony MVP, the creme de la creme. It's creme. And again, he's showing up with his X-board, giving a lot of space, giving a lot of damage, but more important is like he always makes any kind of situation feels like a kill opportunity for SRG.
Crab, the export Dax is genius. We did predict that it will be the last pick, right? It made a lot of sense. Was a little bit of problem in specific points in the game, but obviously when he is needed, he turns up and made it difficult for the team fights for FCAP to happen. This was the team fight, one of the most important team fights.
The most important team fight.
Oh. Kaltizi will be able to get out. Oh, this is 8 minutes.
Oh, it's very similar.
Very similar.
Angle, yeah.
Exactly. Will happen in 10 minutes, and then there will be another one, first Lord Dance, which second Lord Dance, I mean, but eventually will be in favor of FCAP. I think you will also have to give credit
That one.
Yeah, exactly. You have to give credit to Sekais as well, managing to in the second Lord Dance like survive long enough and actually able to get one kill off before. Well, he did not die afterwards, but yeah, you get my point, right? Sekais was also very important and very instrumental to that victory. So is Cram with 92% kill participation.
Yeah, between Cram and Sekais, the X-Borg and the Alpha, I think they were both the antithesis to what FCAP was trying to do. Like, if you can't kill these two dudes and you can't out-damage them, basically the fight's over.
Yeah.
Stormy just being there during that turnaround was just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. But that was all made possible by, number one, the setup by Yums, and then, again, the beta, the swings, the Spear Alpha, and the fire missiles and the last sanity off of Cram and Sekais.
With that being said, right now, it's match point. It's a scary situation to be in, even if you're the one that is on match point, because you know at this point, if you make a mistake, then, you know, it's going to be a best of one. And
that's the point.
And that's a scary place to be in.
Yeah, I think for sure, SRG are feeling it. Well, not only with the way that they played, I think that they have gotten their momentum quite long enough today, despite their losses, their 2 losses. It felt like they have gotten the momentum, but most importantly, momentum when it comes to drafting. Now they have figured out Falcons AP.Bren. In fact, Falcons AP.Bren were too hung up on whatever SRG is doing that they pick up the Fanny and the Focus together. While it's true, it's good. It's actually really good. But then the fact that they reacted that way meant that, yeah, SRG are getting into their heads.
The reset did not happen the way we wanted it to. Again, the fact that they're still bringing out new picks and that these are new strats that they're trying shows that they got life in them. But was it the kind of move, the needed move here to get them to match point first? Apparently no. SRG is still ahead.
A conversation that we have to have here is talking about both junglers, because again, both junglers have proven to be one of the reasons why they've been doing so well. We got to talk about Sekais as well as Kyle TZ. We got to talk about both junglers here, where we're looking at the stats. In terms of the numbers, honestly, it does look like more towards Kyle TZ.
Yeah. 7 to 4.73. I guess this is because
it's quite even. Quite even.
Yeah, well, you gotta have to go back where Kyle TZ and FCAP themselves have dominated so much. For SRG, there were games that did not go in their favor. In fact, they had a 5-game series going up against Fireflux, so KDA will not be there. But overall, really good. I think that in this particular grand final so far, and I'm not only saying this because it's a 3-2 that favors SRG. So far, it's Sekais getting the better off of Kyle TZ, mainly because because you remember when Kyle TZ went for the utility, he lost. But this time, game number 5, utility for Sekais, he still wins.
You know what? The comparison between these two players go as far back as their starts in MLBB Esports. Kyle TZ, Alpha Pro Esports, his amateur team in the early years. Sekais, Elex Esports in his early years. So, and they were both homegrown by these giant, all puns intended, orgs, right? They started their pro careers under SRG, under Falcons AP.Bren. So now this is all the payoff. This is their prime form now.
I gotta say, Sekais is one of those guys where I would say fans of him is like, he's good, he's okay, but he's nothing like special, you know? But now he's really grown in his career after like, what, 1 or 2 years in the scene. Now he's really developing into this Sky Prince that has to be respected, because before this, it's just like, whether he's there or not, you know he's a good player, but again, he's not going to be game-changing. Now, he's a game-changer.
SRG, the whole team, the whole franchise put the work into this young man, and now here's the payoff. I honestly haven't seen a jungler with such a killer instinct, even compared to Kyle TZ, because Kyle plays the map. Kyle is one of those few junglers that can play both sides of the coin of utility assassin. But when you see Sekais on an assassin, it just
laser
feels,
focus.
it just plays right. It's laser focus. It's scalpel precise, and it's just as brutal as a machete. You know what I mean? Like he's just a katana even.
I think it also, if you're looking at SRG and specifically how they are utilizing Sakai's and how Sakai's actually plays, it kind of makes me think that they are playing so many games with different kinds of heroes. And it's actually backed up by the fact that Coach Arcadia and the entirety of SRG reveals that they are playing so much actually, even after their scrims, right? So they are playing a lot of ranked games together as a team. I think that they have extended scrims as well. So they're really just focusing on so much reps on their side, because if you're going to be comparing both the Fanny usages of Kaltis as well as Sakai's is more favored, and it kind of felt like Kaltis is more on the rusty side of things. If you look back at Sakai's play, I think he only missed 2 cables.
Sorry to cut you off there, but again, this is an intense match. Sky's only 17, that's crazy. But with that being said, we're sending it over to the stage.
Tension is hanging in the air. Heart-stopping climax. This is the clash of true titans. They're not just here to compete. They're here to dominate. They're here to become legendary.
The score is currently 3-2. And now, Selangor Red Giants are 1 win away from being crowned the MSC 2024 champions. Can Falcons AP.Bren take us all the way to 7 games?
Now we want to hear from the audience. Let's hear it from the fans of Falcons AP.Bren.
Okay, I see you guys. I see the Filipino crowd. I see the Falcons fans. But now I want to ask, what about the Selangor Red Giants? Are you not entertained?
The Amazon Arena is ready. Let's start game number 6.
It is time to go over to our panelists. Boys and girls, it's your time to shine. Game 6 awaits.
Dude, look at the crowd. Look at the crowd.
I'm still wondering, so which is which?
Yeah. No, honestly, crazy. Like I feel like the panel represents the
we're everyone.
The crowd.
We're all.
Right now it's like 2-1, right?
We're very together.
We're very together. Now, here's the thing. In Malaysia is going wild as well. Like right now in Malaysia, the watch party, I saw like 6, 7, maybe even 9 different watch parties in Malaysia. Like, it's insane.
This is one of them.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, put it into context. This has never happened before. Like, being in the grand finals is a dream. Having match point. Wow.
Whoa.
Wait, why is there so many?
Whoa.
There's about 2,000 people there.
Whoa.
Wait, I didn't. Okay, this caught me by surprise. Why
this is
another few thousand in there?
Yo, I feel proud. Shout outs to Malaysia.
Yo, F-Cup crowd looks small in comparison.
Exactly.
At least in the Amazon Arena.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the Philippines it's still huge, but still.
Yeah.
Dude, this grand finals is living up to the hype.
Hey, if this was a BO5, it would have been over.
Yes. To put it into perspective, you're correct.
Yeah, correct.
Just saying, that's how high the stakes are. And just one game, one more win for SRG, and we usher in a new era of MLBB Esports.
If SRG wins this one, DJY is correct?
I take it back. We already are in a new age, given how far this series has gone.
That's right.
And now we're jumping straight into the pick and bans. SRG is going to be on red once again. Falcons AP.Bren is on the blue. They're banning out the Terizla. This time, respecting Stormy on the Valentina, going to get banned out. Chip has been banned out by SRG.
Okay, so that means what? Roger Harris being opened once again.
I kind of want to see the Roger go, not going to lie.
Nope.
The Julian.
Gotta hit the Julian.
So you ban Ling if you're F-Cap, right?
This feels like a very familiar...
You ban Fanny.
Oh, ban Fanny, and then they pick up the Ling, right?
Yeah.
This just feels like M2.
Feels like M2?
Feels like M2, just replace SRG with the Burmese Ghouls.
That's so true. That's actually so true.
That's how high the stakes are.
Yeah. So it should be...
That was my first international, man.
Yeah.
Brings back memories. But now, Ling or Roger are led both of them go and ban on something like a Moskov or something.
Yeah. Or you ban Moskov.
I don't know.
So that it will be just Ling if it is picked up by FCAP, and then you answer with
the Roger jungle.
Yeah, a Harith, you know. Harith Valentine is not open this time, so maybe.
I don't envy the coaches, by the way. Like, drafting like this must be very stressful. The Ling has been banned out, so
it's just Roger or Harith at this point for FCAP.
Yep.
If you're FCAP, I mean, historically they want Roger.
Yep.
But I think it's still a 50-50 between these two. Yep.
Roger.
So you go Roger. So you go Harith and maybe get the Hayabusa as soon as possible.
I think the Arla is a risk. As good of a hero as he is, he's one of those, you're either great or you're chocolate, you know?
Arla's a FCAP choice. Yeah, I don't chalk it up the SRG to do that.
And then there's also the Angela, which I think will most likely be on FCAP. Unless SRG takes it, but yeah, I think it's more of an FCAP hero. SRG will want to go for the Harith, yep, together with Musa. Yep.
Harith Musa.
You
this early, huh?
Yeah. Harabusa. And then in this case, you want to pick up the Minotaur as soon as possible if you're FCAP, because that was always banned by SRG. Answers this Hayabusa for sure. At the same time, you want to secure your EXP late. Honestly, the fact that Yu Zhong has always been let go by both, this kind of surprises me at this point, especially because there's always like Hayabusa on the other side.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we have a player quote coming in from Kyle TZ. I don't think SRG is any easier. We just want to focus on winning, not our opponent. And Wolf, like you said,
yep,
Minotaur picked up, as well as the Arlet. Both of you guys get a point each.
Thanks.
Connection?
The points are made up, by the way, so
yeah,
they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Do you pick up the Ruby now if you are, or the Cho for SRG?
The fact that both are available and neither are a flex means FCAP won't ban both. So I think you can still get away with either. I don't think they want to pry that pick here.
Yeah, that's also true. So
they're fine. You know, SRG is comfortable. They're uncomfortably comfortable.
Yeah.
Like they have so much left in the pocket that it's FCAP who's thinking, even if it's SRG's turn to pick.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Maybe a board.
I'm not comfortable.
Maybe you want to go board. Oh, okay. Very nice.
Okay. I need to ask the casters. What do you guys think of the opener coming in from SRG, having the Hayabusa Harif as well as the Lilia?
I don't know about you boys here, but even between me and Mirko, we were thinking like whether or not that Lilia pick should have been Yutong.
Yeah, for sure. I thought for sure it was going to be Yuzong, right? Because for Falcons AP.Bren, they rarely do this, but they actually reveal the Minotaur and the Arla instantly. No flex onto the Arla anymore. So I thought for sure SRG wanted to give Cram that winning matchup to just snowball in the game.
Hey, you know, maybe they're just like, you know what, Stormy, it's your time to shine, and maybe there's a secret EXP pick, or just go back to something like a CC, who knows.
The good thing about getting the Lilia is that it definitely challenges Fuse hero pool. So they ban the Phovius, and then what, they're going to ban Farsa next?
I didn't think it was possible to choke out Few, man. Not like this.
Well, that's also true.
That's amazing. All right, they take out the Cho. Am I getting my words? Take out the Cho in their own because the Tigreal's still out there. Never mind.
We did say that it could be the Cho as the third pick for SRG, but it was banned out. There's also that Yu Zhong that we keep on talking about because it's a very strong pick. But then again, they can fourth pick it if ever.
Yeah, I also think they'd rather let the Ruby through.
Yes.
Than the Tigreal. So they'll ban out the Tigreal.
Yes.
Tigreal was so good last game, so I think that would be best for FCAP.
What about the Aurora ban here?
For
Moskov. Oh, forgot about Moskov.
All right.
So probably gonna pick up the Claude later.
It depends if they wanna. It depends on the fourth pick. If this is Tigreal, then I think that FCAP will just go for a utility pickup, maybe like a Baksha, for example. That's the board that I also thought will be picked up. SRG skipped on that, but yeah, I think the Lilia still is a stronger pick. That means that Yu Zhong is still available. Great hero for Cram. Apart from that, what else are you looking for? Maybe a Barrett's actually for Mr. Cram, which also negates like a potential for for a utility pickup. Also Edith. So I'm thinking Edith or Barrett's here. Grok instead.
Haven't seen Yums on this Grok for a while. It's been banned out quite a few times.
It denies the Claude. You cannot pick Claude here. It's Lilia and Grok. You don't want to pick up the Claude for FCAP. You might be forced for, what, Beatrix?
And it nullifies these 2 CC heavy picks early on.
Yeah.
SRG has a lot of prior here.
Doesn't care.
Wait, how about a Nathan for FCAP and then get a wave clear hero like a Vexana?
Sounds good. Sounds right. Casters, what do you think?
Faramis.
Now that you see Falcons AP.Bren full lineup, what do you guys feel about the draft?
There you go. I mean, I just want to say that Yu Zhang will 100% come through for SRG now, right? Because we were expecting it to come out a lot sooner. I don't know if they don't go Yu Zhang, because like Yu Zhang just fits perfectly here, and they already have the Grok, they got Lilia, they got full mid prime, so even the Faramis will get punished.
How about Lapu?
I don't know. I'm even thinking about FCAP at this point. The way that they're going to be playing their comp is heavily around just like team fighting strong, right? So like, good luck to both of these teams at the end of the day.
I like the Lapu shout out.
Yeah, I don't like the Faramis.
I'm feeling that maybe FCAP are taking the focus on winning and away from their opponent to their detriment. Because there's so much that SRG is presenting that FCAP here just picked up the Faramis and the Nolan.
Got it.
We were all right. They pick up the Faramis and the Nolan, just wanting to go fast and hard.
Let me just say, I really like this Lapu pickup.
Yes, so good.
Yeah.
I think SRG's got this.
I mean,
draft-wise.
Whether they do or not, it's all about the players in the game. Right now it's match point, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're throwing it over to our casters.
Thank you once again. Our analysts have been doing a phenomenal job breaking down these drafts and honestly giving foresight on these picks. But it's time. Match point for SRG. This is the Ascension match. We're gone beyond the skies. We're touching the heavens here with the gods of the game.
The Red Giants finally find themselves looking down upon Falcons AP.Bren, and it's now or never. 3-2. Do they seal the deal?
Welcome to game number 6 here at MSC 2024 here at EWC with Falcons AP.Bren on blue side, SRG match point on red.
Oh, I was talking about the Yu Zhang. We were talking about the Yu Zhang, but then they go out with the Lapu, and honestly, yeah, I mean, technically it does the same thing, just no instant petrify, right, when you go for the Furious Dive, but yeah, finishing or even dealing with the Netherrealm would be great. Sky's already rotating up top. Kalti's gonna be caught in the quad shadow. Sky's following in forward. Going for the shurikens here. She'll be able to do it. Sky's forward. Oh, Kaltizi with the help of Ogwen and Few turns it around.
And Sky's is probably thinking to himself, maybe I should have taken lethal ignition on this one.
Oh.
I mean, it's one of those feel bad moments, but still, it's still a 50-50. Yums doesn't get knocked up, thankfully, and now that's first blood for Falcons AP.Bren, and that's what you want to see, especially if you are a world champion fan.
For Falcons AP.Bren on the Nolan. See, it's very rare that we get to see this, right? When Wolf says that he doesn't like Falcon AP.Bren's draft. It's very rare to see. Usually they're always able to outdraft their opponents. I think that was the case as well up against Liquid Echo. But this time around, they find themselves in a spot where they really have to get that early lead. That will definitely help them with a lot of these hero plays with the composition to make it work, to beat SRG before they get online.
I think we need to take it a step forward, right? Because now at this point, it's not only just about getting a lead, but it's also unlocking these laners, right? And Ogwen, he can take the damage. He doesn't mind. He opted to go for tank emblem, so he can take it for now, but at the same time, right? How do they unlock them?
Good zoning. This is a good way to do so. Falcons AP.Bren already utilizing the man advantage in the bottom lane to actually stop Cram from getting that cannon minion. That will actually stop him from getting level 4, which means Kaltizi should be able to steal it or actually just take it for free. No contest at all from SRG.
Yeah, a really good off-tempo play from the side of Falcons AP.Bren. They decided, you know what? Hey, Owen, you're going to get 2 waves in the mid so that Few can actually start zoning out Cram for these bigger fights. With that being said, that's an early turtle for Falcons AP.Bren, but Kaltizi, especially with the lead that he has EXP-wise, he's going to be able to really start threatening and burning battle spells from Selangor Red Giants.
Falcons AP.Bren, it's all about that farming now. Up against Skies on the Hayabusa, Nolan does have an advantage when it comes to that clear speed, so that's definitely something that Falcons AP.Bren will continue to utilize here. Kyle, also known for his amazing, phenomenal pathing. Now, a level ahead. He should be able to find another lead here because this is what I was talking about for the Yuzong at least, right? For Cram on the Alapu, you're going to be great, especially in the mid game, but in the early game, if you got that Yuzong, you would be able to force to just win out this lane.
I mean, I agree that they want to win out this lane, but at the same time, SRG is thinking a little bit further than that, right? Because look at the nature of how these games have been going. It's, yes, you get a lead in the laning phase, but then afterwards, what happens? The big turnaround we've seen from both of these teams, somehow more consistently on SRG's side, but at the same time, with the Lapu, you're now not dependent on your battle spells anymore, right? You don't need to have that Petrified Furious dive to make something happen. You just bravest fighter and hope for the best.
Warrior Boots' first item from Cram here is actually going for... I wonder what he's actually going for there. If he just wants to stay on that item. It's a Thunderbelt though, rushed in from Flap TZ. Kyle TZ already pushing Cram, putting the pressure down on him in the bottom lane. He's already down quite a bit from, you know, all those early ganks from Few. Now he's going to be down even more. He's going to lose an entire wave, I think, with the cut.
Yeah, that's a little... Ooh. I mean, that's a little unfortunate. I think that Cram is going to first item War Axe instead of going for the traditional Hunter Strike at this point, or mainly because I think when he jumps in, Ogwin is going to stop everybody else from continuing the dive, you know, really capitalizing on it. And with that peel being said, with the extra spell vamp that you get from that War Axe, it might just buy him the precious few seconds. Ooh!
Youm's wild charge. All alone, though, now going to be taken down by Super Marco. Great read. And for Falcons AP.Bren, it was just about speed. SRG weren't ready for that speed.
Exactly. Like, I'm surprised that they even wanted to contest for it in the first place. I would have think that, you know, they would have opted to just back away. You know what? Take the turtle, whatever. Maybe we can find a lane lead somewhere.
Like and ball straight into the flicker as well. Minius Fury onto Innocent. 1v3 taken down under the turret. No trades for SRG.
Oh boy. Good stuff coming out from Falcons AP.Bren. Keep in mind, the Netherrealm is still up from Few. This was a guaranteed dive to happen. Oh, whoa.
Final Slash breathing out the black shoes already. Stormy kind of in a bit of trouble now, you know? He's not even able to walk up fully because he doesn't know. Where's Ogwin? Now he does, and now he rotates back towards the mid lane, wants to give that wave over towards the Harith. Youms is just holding it down.
Look at this read here coming in from Few. He's going to be able to get the Shadow Stampede off, but regardless, right, Falcons AP.Bren are very aware that Skies has good opportunities to actually find the side. Oh!
Final Slash flicker into the fracture, straight into the Vengeance! Well played, Falcons AP.Bren. The combination to assassinate Skies.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff here. World champions for a reason, am I right?
Innocent, Zaman Force used up, Few rotating up top, relieving some of that pressure, and Super Marco is still ahead of Innocent. Ogwin again, the pinch maneuver under the turret, forcing Innocent to walk all the way back to that bush.
SRG need to fight for priority here. At this point, like Youms, as much as he's responding, he's not helping the mid wave actually being cleared to get Stormy in a position where he can start drawing the line. By the time he gets there, it's already too late.
So far, so good for Falcons AP.Bren. Kyle TZ comfortably ahead, one level this time around as we wait for the next neutral objective. And even in the bottom lane, SRG have already sent Cram towards the top side of the map to contest for the neutral objective. Then now the bottom lane, the lead grows even more, not just for Kyle, but for Flap as well.
I mean, the weirdest part is the fact that it feels like Falcons AP.Bren are taking the page out of Selangor Red Giants' book. Hey, we're going to force you to keep answering our questions on our time. We're not going to give you that opportunity to regroup and find the counter engage.
Well, now with Kyle, that speed. Fracture used up the passive together with Super Marco's bullets. That's an easy take. 3 neutral objectives, all the Falcons AP.Bren. No contest whatsoever. Skies finds a cross-map play. We'll have to see if he can escape from this one. Shadow kill used up onto Flap TZ. Kyle TZ waiting in the midst of it all right now. The stun should be able to take him down, and just like that, he didn't even use the Vengeance. Stone cold Flap.
Oh man, Sky's unable to buy enough time. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't exactly get the best quad Shadow in the world earlier. But at this point, any single advantage is great for Falcons AP.Bren if they want to bring it back and force a tiebreaker between the two teams. At this point of time, SRG, if they're the only way that they're going to find a big tempo play is they've create an advantage with the wild charge, right? So far, Youms has not been able to get there at the right place at the right time because of the way that Falcons AP.Bren are kind of splitting them up.
Final Slash right into the knockup. Super Marco running like in form. You can hear him Yums able to escape for now. No flicker on Krem. Skies tries to go for the quad shadow, just revealing them. Kalteezy's 2 levels ahead. Threatening. No, the Stormy beating on the black shoes. Oh my goodness, that damage.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Let's look at the gold difference here, because right now Super Marco is currently 1,200 gold ahead, and that's not what you want to see. But even so, even Kalteezy continuing to be, I mean, he's so far ahead already.
He is so far ahead, and the items display it very well. He doesn't even need the Sky Piercer, right? He thinks, okay, I'm gonna go for Blade of Heptases and then Hunter Strike, and then I'll go for the Sky Piercer. I already have enough damage early game, fool.
And with that being said, right, situational items are going to start coming into play, and I think it's important that they get it as soon as possible, because right now that's a 3-item Roger, and not exactly the best position to be if you're low.
Slowly, Flapteezy. He barriered in and all in, but Flapteezy able to find a final slash. Flickers out Ogwin now with a capitalization. Power of Nature into the wild charge. 3 members knocked up as Cram gets the bravest fighter stun. Now the Netherrealm comes down to Super Marco, deals with the back line. Shadow kill forced out. Now with the Lycan form, Sky's very low. Yum flicker, but now Sky's going back with the quad shadow. Meanwhile, Stormy forced to use the black shoes, and Skies cannot go for the assassination. Will be forced back again. It's 1-for-0. Flap going in, connecting onto Yums, but will not be able to find the hit. Innocent with his Amon Force turns things around, finds a trade back, and Cram is back up.
Nice reaction time coming in from Yums. That Power of Nature saved his life from Flapteezy trying to go for that final slash. But at the end of the day, Falcons AP.Bren, despite trading Flapteezy over to Innocent, doesn't matter. They got the neutral objective, and that's the most important part.
Again, now with the Lord. A big one at that, Skies. Jumps in, shadow kill. Netherrealm not up just yet. View can't escape. It's Stormy who finds it straight into the fadeaway with the black shoes. Into the turret, they find a pick. And I think this Lord, Fox AP.Bren, will still be able to utilize it. The passive was on full stacks from Few. He's back up already.
Let's look at the damage dealt so far, because right now, we're seeing that Few. Again, these fights have been really, really compact, and the closer SRG sticks together, the more the Ghost Bursters is going to do even more damage. And man, you can just see how badly Flapteezy wants to catch somebody, just overextending, even by a single pixel. They'll find everything. But similar to the previous game, right, we did see that, you know, on Fanny, you want to be able to kind of split push on the side lane. For Hayabusa, exact same thing, right? You want to kind of alleviate the pressure. Oh,
Super Marco with the chase down. Now Sky's going back and forth. Scratch down. Super Marco wins the 1v1.
He panicked. The quad shadow, he sent it into the wall. That wasn't ideal, but hopefully they can protect mid and tier 1.
They will still be able to do so up top. Innocent sent to deal with the Lord, but he's all alone. He's used his Amon Force. Oh, Gwen. Look at this menace, Flapteezy walking forward with the vengeance, able to find it onto Yums. Didn't get the stun. Kalteezy in the mid lane zoning Cram away, and they are able to zone them away, at least from the tier 1 in the mid lane, getting that tier 2 up top as well. Kyle forced back, Stormy, and now Yums, great maneuvers by him with the conceal to zone them away from this turret. Ogwen, knock up, final slash, displacing Yums, still able to find a wild charge. Kalteezy in the back, shadow kill used up, Netherrealm there to protect them. Meanwhile, Super Marco will be able to escape still, dodges away, flicker from Cram, not able to find it just yet, and Cram, despite all the damage, he can't take anyone down. Stormy with the chase, but then the motivation roar just gets them back up.
Oh, that's a War Axe diff right there. Survive. Oh, Stormy gets hit.
Final slash, Stormy trying to run away, doesn't have the black shoes. Meanwhile, Crab gets bursted down. Kalteezy gets rid of Stormy.
That's a 2-for-nothing trade. Falcons AP.Bren has been in the driver's seat this entire game, but the lead finally extended from 5K to 6K. Again, it's starting to even out here, and worst yet, this could mean inhibitors. The next 30 seconds is going to be important. Oh, final slash.
Again, with the vengeance, this time Innocent able to escape those Skies back and forth with the quad shadow. Now into Flapteezy again, very low. Innocent able to space out. Yums with the power of nature, able to escape like it. Oh! Super Marco! Again and again, finding the play. Base short number 1 in the mid lane. Boom! The Filipino cannon finds another.
Oh no, oh no. It's starting to fall apart for SRG. Falcons AP.Bren, the chain deaths are happening.
Minions Fury crowned with the bravest fighter, unable to find more. Super Marco continuing it, able to flicker out to safety. Innocent back and forth, now in another round. Final slash not connecting, Innocent cannot survive.
Once again, they do it. They are showing you why they are the best in this game. Every single time you count them out, they just show you it's not even close. Match point for both of these teams. We couldn't have asked for anything better here, Mirko.
Falcons AP.Bren flying back to eye level against the Red Giants. Back and forth, and this time round, we get to witness Game 7.
It's been so long. It's been so long. Man, it's been a while since you and me have been on the desk, and we even get the benefit of casting all 7 games. Today could not be any better.
Falcons AP.Bren, they always find a way. You look at them, you think they're beatable. They bleed, and then they stomp you just after that. 12 minutes. The fastest game in the series so far.
Yep, the strongest mental we've seen. Analysts, it's your turn. Break it down for us.
We started the day with a best of 7, and now we're jumping to a best of 1. And again, tempo, the speed. Dude, Falcons AP.Bren, they want to push this one, and now it's anyone's game.
This is what we asked for, game number 7. But I gotta say, like to all the fans out there, it is true that during the draft we reacted really badly about that Fairness as well as that Nolan pick.
We were skeptics.
We were
Maybe
very
next
skeptic.
time, let's not do that anymore.
Yeah, maybe it is necessary so that they can win.
It's part of the show.
Part of the show.
Oh my goodness.
Man, but nevertheless, I think the thing is what we actually forgot is how good the macro is for Falcons AP.Bren, because they attack this in a macro level.
Which makes this all the more a beautiful game, match, and series.
Yeah.
Because all throughout, it was SRG who brought us first to match point. We were playing SRG's game, we were following their tempo, we were playing to their tune. And that's why the draft here made all the more sense for Falcons AP.Bren, is because they broke the game down to a point where team fights aren't what we're used to. They're not the fights we knew from games 4, 3, and 2.
There is also this silent protocol amongst teams, especially for MOBAs, when you're drafting in a grand finals, where it doesn't matter if you get the perfect hero for that draft, just a hero-centric, but if it's not a meta-game hero, it will not work. For example, the Lapu-Lapu, maybe you will rank it lower in your tier list, but it makes total sense, right? It's great versus the Roger, decent versus the Nolan, stellar against the Fairness, but if you think about it, the attributes as well as the items that eventually this Lapu-Lapu will pick up, it's not that strong in the meta game. So even when Crown will play the perfect hero, it doesn't mean that they will win with that kind of hero in a grand final.
Greater than the sum of their parts.
Exactly.
That's what makes this draft by FCAP such a magnum opus.
Yeah.
I honestly was afraid, not just in the draft, which was very obvious, we were vocal about that, but also a lot of the moments in game where Super Marco, where Kyle TZ, where even Few were threading the needle, like you should have died, you should have gotten punished at this point. And again, the way that they all put it together, the calls that they made might have broken SRG's tempo well enough to end this at 12.
Didn't give him time to adjust?
Yes. That is definitely what they took away from SRG this time. SRG, I think that it's fair to assume that after watching them in the group stages and the knockouts, they're a late game team. They're a comeback kind of team. But in this game number 6, finally we see Falcons AP.Bren just really, show their fangs, really have a tight grip and never letting go of the tempo, which meant that SRG couldn't find the right timing to open up. Even when you saw that Sekai tried to go for that bottom lane push, he was solo. He was actually taken out by Super Marco, who played the Roger against Hayabusa so well. He stood in the middle so that he has got like what, equal distance to travel.
He would have killed him either way.
Exactly.
Not to mention Innocent, right? Innocent was actually doing his job. He was doing his role to get to a point wherein if fights lasted a while longer, even under another realm, he would be able to dance between the Zaman Force and win the fights eventually. But FCAP was denying that. So he had to revert down to pushing the off lanes, which made the whole situation harder for SRG because you can't face a team that's 4K, 5K ahead of you with just 4 men.
Yeah.
So it was a double jeopardy for SRG.
Let me transition the topic here by saying Falcons AP.Bren, they're in a comfortable position where they've been in the best of 7 numerous times.
Exactly.
Selangor Red Giants, even in MPLMY, it didn't go all 7 games.
Yeah.
So this is indeed the final boss test for SRG, not just against Falcons AP.Bren, the final boss, but going all the way. Do you have the stamina to go up against the defending world champions? Like, if SRG wins this one and they continue their win streak, then I believe they've shut down the doubters.
Oh, well, I think until now, the doubters should be shut down. If you're doubting SRG, still, man, you're in a different planet.
If you do just what you said, if SRG beats FCAP here and now, they have a new chapter to write. No longer are they in the 100+ days situation like that. That's just racing yourself. Now they have to carry the weight of being the strongest region, the strongest team in the world.
That's right.
Dude, like that gives me goosebumps. But now we got to look at our Sony MVP. It's going over to Super Marco. And again, the bulletproof Super Marco. I don't know. I kind of feel like you need like, what, 7 heroes to kill this guy. Pick up a Popal and Koopa or something.
My lady at home is screaming out her lungs.
That is Super Marco, the king of... the nonchalant king, as he is called in the Philippines. No emotions, just pure power.
I can imagine you pull off what he did against Sekai's and he goes, yeah.
Imagine it's like, hey, you just won $1 million. Like, thanks.
He's gonna smile, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, he might give a smirk.
He's been working on it.
Yeah.
This is that play. Look at that. Look at how much damage that
I thought the guys had a chance, by the way, but that was too one-sided.
With that single step, he was next to 2 shadows.
Exactly. And then he's gonna clean up. Look, actually the kiting coming out from FCAP finally arrived, like the way that they are winning the team fights. And then FrapTZ this time, he is activated. FrapTZ has been a 50-50 during the entire grand finals. But in order for FCAP to eventually nail this win, everybody has to step up from FCAP. That is true for SRG, but I would say for SRG, come game number 7, I do hope that they just get their Yum special. You know, Yum's being confident with setup heroes, with Stormy getting the damage done, and Sekai's, of course, with an assassin. I do hope that will be the case.
And here I was thinking the Grok was that Yum's hero we were looking for. You said it has been a while.
Of course, and the thing is, we have a lot more to talk about, but going to Game 7, we have to go to a break first. We'll see you guys right after this.
Fans, as we are about to jump in our 7th and final game in this best of 7 grand finals for the MSC title. Now, boys and girls, are you ready? I say GG, you say SRG. Are you ready? GG, SRG, GG, GG, GG. As you can see, the fans are ready and the game is ready. But before that, I think we have Mara with the Falcons AP.Bren fans. Show me what you got.
Oh, we're here to show you that we have the best fans. All right, everybody, let me hear it from you. Show you Game 7. Analysts, take it away.
As amazing as the crowd is, I just want to take this moment and just say, this is going to be our final panel.
That's right. No turning back.
We've been in Riyadh for how many weeks now, and it's all come to this. There'll be no more games after this one.
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's an honor of serving you, gentlemen.
Yes, I feel emotional right now.
You feel emotional?
Yeah, I do. It's weird, right? Like, I've been in many grand finals before, but it's
something about this one.
Something about this one. Yeah.
I mean,
something special.
It's history in the making anyways, right? Falcons AP.Bren having all the championships. Selangor Red Giants bringing a new era for Malaysia. Like, whoever wins this one, they deserve it. But with that being said, why do I keep saying that? We're jumping into the draft here. SRG is going to be blue side. Falcons AP.Bren, red side, batting the Julian.
Yep.
Batting the Faramis. Few, you're not going to be having fun.
Whew. By the way, just the fact that we have changed sides all matters so much.
SRG
right?
can get Roger here.
They can get Roger, indeed. And they have already banned up. Maybe the Valentina will be next. That should be the ban. I gotta say.
I would encourage it.
Encourage. What other heroes do they ban? Oh, because they're in the red side. That's why they can now afford to ban the Faramis because they don't have to ban the chip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Falcons AP.Bren, they ban out the Fanny. So either let SRG have the Ling, have the Roger, or open both of them up.
I think you open both of them. Just ban the Ling at this point if you are FCAP. But for SRG, I think I would have said Valentina, but yeah, Moscow also works.
So in that case, do they first pick the Ling, regardless if it doesn't get banned?
Yeah. Yes, 100%. Especially because you already have the counters taken out. Like most importantly, this Julian and also the Moskov. In fact, even the Faramis is considerable against the Ling. So yeah, you're now comfortable.
Do it, Treb.
Do it, Treb.
They got the Ling, man.
Yeah, just out the Ling.
I mean, again, it's like they ban out the Angela. So they want to let SRG pick up the Ling so that Falcons AP.Bren, they can pick up, I believe, Roger Terizla.
Roger Valen.
Roger Valen.
Yep. But okay, so what is top one between Roger Valen and Roger Terizla? I think it's, for me personally, I think number one, Roger Valen, and then second is Roger Terizla. If the Ling gets picked up, I mean, this could be totally different. Maybe SRG picks up Terizla.
Or the Valen.
Or the Valen.
Put it in Stormy. In Stormy we trust.
Wow, what an intense first pick, huh?
I mean, again, it's the final match of MSC.
The biggest power pick trade we've seen in a while.
Yes.
Comes down to this.
Comes down.
I've never been so nervous about
exactly. And honestly, it could have just K. So it's Roger.
Roger.
It's their turn. This is an FCAP signature move.
Yeah.
So that's SRG taking the Roger route. You go Ling and you go Terizla. I think that is the MO for FCAP. There it is. So if you're SRG, you definitely don't want to give the Valentina, right?
The nail on the head.
Yeah. You pick up Valentina if you're SRG. What else do they pick up to?
Do they have to consider picking up the Xborg? Like, how many EXP leaders is Cram comfortable going up against the Terizla?
Arlet, maybe?
Is there a world where this Roger becomes the jungler?
There is.
There is.
This is the guys we're talking about.
Minotaur Valent, yeah. Very good pickup. Very good opening for SRG.
Almost taking FCAP's draft here.
Yes. So you're gonna be left with Edith perhaps on the or Ogwen in this case.
The problem is we've seen Stormy on that Valentina taking away.
Of course,
and then Harith picks up.
How come we forgot about the Harith? But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think eventually the Claude should be banned by FCAP, right?
Agreed.
Ooh.
And at that point, if all the gold laners are banned out, Roger goes gold lane. Innocent special, that's where he gets the name Innocent the Beast.
Innocent, yeah. Oh, wait. I think the Hayabusa actually is still pickable for SRG, right? That's still a good hero versus the Ling, and also in a way against the Harith.
So they're forcing Sekais on the Haya.
Yeah, they're like indulging SRG to the point where let's have an assassin versus assassin battle in the last game of MSC, where everything is meta.
Their fight will be legendary.
Their fight will indeed be legendary.
It already is.
Okay, I think you banned few heroes, right? Lilia also. Lilia is actually a really good ban for SRG because that has great synergy.
Are you let the Farsa through?
Yep.
What about the Phobius?
Oh.
Maybe you can let the Phobius go. Oh, all right, Tigro ban.
That is interesting, especially because they have the Valentina.
They can steal the Edith's ult.
Yeah, that's right. I think you can still ban Hayabusa here if you're FCAP.
Look at the dichotomy. Look at how polar different Coach Duck and Coach Treb are. You see the smiles on Coach Treb, and Coach Duck is just honed in.
Yep. And Mr. Robert is just prodding. Oh, they are indeed forcing the Hayabusa. X-Borg being banned, I think that's actually an amazing ban here coming out from FCAP, knowing that it will be the last hero to really make it difficult for the Trilza to kind of work.
What else are the options? Cram is good on the CC, but I don't know about CC in this lineup.
CC versus Ling has worked before. I'm not entirely sure if that's good versus the Harith.
Talking about CC, is Arlott on Ogwen a thing?
Ooh.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That might be a better alternative to the Edith, right? Because the Edith just stings.
Yeah.
With a Valentina.
Yeah. If you're up against the Valentina, do you want to go like maybe Kadita or actually the Farsa is still open. Yeah, the Farsa is great. Unless they want to go all in for the damage, which they go Kagura. That's the Arlott.
You called it, Leo.
Well done.
You called it.
And you also take it away from the potential of Cram picking it up.
So
because that's one of the few Cram heroes left.
Yeah.
Ooh. Are you gonna be left with CC? I think CC, they might not have a choice.
Or the Zhong.
Oh, you're right.
The Zhong.
Finally, please. Give us the Yu Zhong.
Use on Claude?
Yep. Yu Zhong Claude.
Like, don't pick up the Hayabusa or risk it. Pick up the Hayabusa, let Innocent have his time with the Roger. Like, this Roger gave Innocent the MVP back in Malaysia.
Yep.
Alpha. Oh, they just go back to Alpha.
Alpha Ruby.
Okay, this is the part where you actually go for the Lilia. Is Louis still open?
Yes.
That might be it. That might be the closer.
What kind of world is this?
Louis is perfect versus Alpha.
I feel like at this point, it's just that everyone just picking what I don't know.
Where are you going with this?
No, I'm just saying it's like
okay.
Go big or go home. Just pick whatever you want. And gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much for your services, not just for today, not just for this draft. Try the entire MSC. We'll talk again later. But for now, we're passing it over to the casters, where for you guys is your final cast as well. See you guys.
Once again, thank you to our beloved analysts calling the shots every single time, being as accurate as they possibly can and breaking down all of the action for you guys. With that being said, Mirko, this is it. One team are going to be crowned champions here of the Mid-Season Cup 2024. The real question, is it going to be Selangor Red Giants or is it going to be Falcons AP.Bren?
Well, we'll just have to see, Gideon. As the door, or the window rather, opens up for the final game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Game 7 MSC 2024 Grand Finals.
Welcome to the land, Dawn. One last time, Selangor Red Giants on the blue side up against Falcons AP.Bren on the red side. And already we're seeing the trades being very effective here from Ogwin, now having access to the Arlet. And honestly, I don't know, man. This Arlet is a dangerous pick on Ogwin.
Really is. I think back in the day, for me especially, looking at Master Ogwin, every time he picks up the Arlet, he would have the most kills on the team. That's how ridiculous he is on the Arlet. So it really does feel like the analysts also, kind of said it. It's all comfort picks. They're going back to what makes them so special, I would say, individually. And it's perfect to see a Game 7 go like this.
Yep, and it's looking phenomenal as well, right? Because once again, from every single lane, they've got a tough job, right? Few, especially on this eve, will be able to try and poke out Stormy, but the same can be said for Stormy, right? If he just dodges a couple of abilities. At the same time, right, you can see that the motions across the map are very hesitant, knowing that there could be a counter response on the opposite end.
Kyle Teasy on the Finch poise. Yum's trying to read that maneuver from Kyle, but he stays on the wall, now going back. Both teams, obviously, I don't know, what would you be looking for here? Flap, though, going for some damage. Kyle Teasy with rotation as well. Cram going to be taken very low. Flickers out to safety, doesn't get knocked up. Going for the Wolf King, and doesn't connect it, so Kyle gets a little bit more damage in.
Okay, I think that's totally fine here, because again, Selangor Red Giants are going to be strong once they have their big ultimates, right? Especially for Yums. Once he has them in No Fury, then maybe they can open up a couple of options. But in the meantime, right, this first turtle is going to be a little tough to contest, considering that Ogwin is giving them very good information. Okay, they know for a fact that, especially in the mid lane, is going to get shoved in, but they know that Alpha is already on his orange buff, so Falcons AP.Bren can take their time with this, go to the opposite side, farm back up, get that level lead to come back for this fight.
This is what's great about Falcons AP.Bren whenever they use the Assassins, because they will go back and forth with the turtle, and they won't go for it. They'll utilize the clear speed. But it seems like for SRG, they've read that. They've rotated over. Now they are the ones punishing Falcons AP.Bren for the clear that they want to go over the neutral objective.
Good stuff here. That's why SRG are, when they are rotating together, more importantly, they are focusing on can they get Sakai's into a position where he is able to actually out-level his opponent, especially when you're up against a Ling, right? We're hoping that Sakai's gets roughly around 11 to 12, specifically level 12, so that he's going to have a really short cooldown on that ultimate in these long extended fights. It's going to be dangerous having multiple, if not 2 rotations of Spear of Alphas if he survives.
Again, now it's coming down to a point where for both these teams, they're really just scouting ahead. They're really just waiting for the power spikes. Ogwin flickers out of them in his fury. Placed down by Yomes. That could have been scary. Super Marco, Zaman Force onto Innocent. Looking for a trade back. Sky's doing some damage back onto Ogwin, and Marco will have to respect Innocent's damage on the Roger. Him on a signature pick, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what Innocent is going to be building, right? Because previously in these types of matchups, especially against the Harith, we've seen here at MSC, he likes to go first item Thunderbelt first before he goes for the traditional build. I mean, the fact of the matter, he likes to go Quantum Charge as well. He likes the extra kiting capability. Oh, wow. Windtalker first. Okay, so he's going to be fighting for he's not just mobility, but fighting for priority, because Roger is not great at clearing waves, but with the Windtalker, he can at least go toe-to-toe.
Yep. You get that additional damage coming down. You get that, I would say, what is it? An additional strike. But
the gust of wind.
A gust of wind. That's a perfect way to put it. Sky's also with a War Axe here. Are they very, very early on able to secure his first item of the game? And that's really going to be good for him, because I think on the Alpha, when he used it in Game 3, I believe, it was a bit shaky when it comes to the early game. He was taken down quite a bit. So the fact that now he is able to get to his item power spike without any real hurdles is great. This mid game is going to be great for SRG.
I think the best part about it all is because the laners are so even, it's going to be difficult for Kyle Teasy to find these freebies in the side, right? So the main time where they actually clash is during these fights of neutral objectives, these POIs. Even, I would even make an argument for River Crabs as well. Oh,
Ogwin all alone up there, knocked up now. Midas Fury Yums finding 3 on the board, another knockup. It's a Tempest of Blade by Calteezy, but he can only just escape the real world Blade. He gets placed down, but Crown is swinging the sight now on the Stormy, who finds it. Finch poised by Calteezy, finding a trade back, and it is Skies that gets taken down. So at least for Falcons AP.Bren, they deny the turtle, but Stormy terrified. Don't run Wolf King isn't ready. Cram gonna go in for the dive. Now with a dash forward, Cram takes him down.
Nicely done. At least Stormy didn't have to use the IMU, and Innocent off of this double wave goes and takes down mid-tier 1. The tempo is strong from SRG's side. Falcons AP.Bren, they gotta recover from the economical damage.
Final slash and the flicker. Cram is still able to survive. Now baits him in onto Yums. Cram with one last hit at the site. The Don't Run Wolf King outplays Falcons AP.Bren. Penalty zone from Flapteezy, straight into Calteezy, now with a Tempest of Blades, knocking him up. Innocent finding the kill, now on to Kyle, he goes. You try to catch him, you think he's guilty. No! He's innocent!
He does it time and time again. He's not allowed to get away with this. The law can't stop him now, man. But now, this is an insane amount of momentum that we are seeing from Selangor Red Giants. They want more!
RWM, Innocent again, Lycan Pounce. Not gonna be used up just yet. Ogwen with a vengeance, the final slash, shutting him down. Yums, Minions Fury early to try to disengage, and he gets Stormy out, but it's just Stormy. He's gonna have to die for it.
Oh man, might have been an overheat coming in for Innocent. Talk about Caster's Cursed here. As we pull it back, let's look at the items. What have they built so far? Looks like the Endless Battle is almost complete by Innocent's side, but the Starlium side then also going to be a quick Feather of Heaven, almost complete for the side of Super Marco.
For Falcons AP.Bren, even though they've lost out on the neutral objectives, they're still able to fight. And seriously, this composition is really built for those hero moments. You got so many big plays that can happen. Flapteezy penalty zone is a bond force. Ogwen obviously with the final slash, and they can all, if they are able to get the combo, it's gonna be ridiculous. I'm offended by Cram into the Don't Run Wolf King. No follow up though. SRG not in the position to really all in, not on a Terizla.
Yeah, hopefully Falcons AP.Bren don't make that same mistake where they kind of, especially in the earlier stages, nobody has anti-heal at this point of time, right? So Cram is pretty dangerous if there's a lot of people, B, an entire wave in front of him. I think they got to play it a little bit slower, right? Because again, if we're talking about tempo, that's kind of died out for the side of SRG, right? At least from Falcons AP.Bren, they've kind of evened out the score in terms of who makes that first move first. And until we see Super Marco get the Holy Crystal, I think that Falcons AP.Bren understand that it's pretty difficult to fight cleanly.
It is. It's going to be very, very hard, considering SRG, how mobile they are. That Wind Talker that we were talking about for the Prio, it now works even more for SRG because technically they can attack from different angles, and Falcons AP.Bren, they really have to rely on that front to back to be organized, to be coordinated. If SRG displaces them, it's going to be tough, and they know right now they're in no position to actually force out a clean fight. That's why they're giving away these neutral objectives, but it will only build SRG to be even stronger here. Come the 8th minute, come the 10th minute.
Well, I don't know. The Turtle, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Turtle's such an important neutral objective, but we gotta calm down because again, Turtle really just benefits, like, slightly benefits the team, but honestly just benefits one person who has that Turtle buff, right? We've seen time and time again that Falcons AP.Bren can push back, and it really boils down to that very first Lord to see the big economical swing that benefits the entirety of the team.
That's a vengeance. Owen, final slash, displacing Yums into the Synchro Fission, but it's just poke. It's just poke that they're dealing with now. For Falcons AP.Bren, let's talk about win cons here, because technically, late game, they got it too. A few Ice Queen Wand, the utility as well, to slow down the mobility that SRG have been utilizing all the way from the early game to this point to actually get an advantage.
Yeah, and that's going to be very effective for those who kind of like to stick on you a lot. People like Cramp, people like even Sakai's to a certain degree. Even if he does decide to go for a Brute Force Breastplate, the raw slow from the kit on top of the Ice Queen's Wand from Few is going to make it really, really difficult for him to stand tall. At the same time, it does open up opportunities for Falcons AP.Bren to actually go for the counter engage, right? But that's on the assumption that SRG make the first move.
Now in the bottom lane, it's a shove again for Falcons AP.Bren. This is what they can utilize. I think for the most part, this is why Lings have been so ferocious in MSC 2024. You're able to farm up so fast. You get places real fast as well. Obviously, you have that Finch poise, but it's all about just being a threat in the side lane. And technically, do SRG have someone that they can actually like send towards this Ling to match him at all times? Because even if you can 1v1 him, you can't get to the rest of the team faster than the Ling.
Yeah, and There's also the secondary problem, right? Because if Ling is able to split push very effectively, then it boils down to how much wave clear do you have? And wait a minute, if Falcons AP.Bren get the Lord, do they have enough wave clear to protect from high ground? That's just not the case for SRG's side. So this very first Lord might just be a make it or break it for them.
Definitely is going to be, especially considering, you know, they got a Harith here. They need to find these big team fights. They need to be able to force these big team fights. They're committing on the Lord. Retribution on point for Skies. SRG take it away, and Falcons AP.Bren, they concede.
I think they don't mind. They know that they have the high ground defense. Worst comes to worst, Tier 2 start falling. As long as they maintain at least all of their inhibitors, they can actually push back. They're not at like a wave disadvantage for the upcoming Lord push. Sorry, not Lord push, but the upcoming Lord spawn. At the same time, it begs the question, right? What's going on through Falcons AP.Bren's head? Did they not want to 50-50 it? Are they more worried about Yums' prime positioning?
I don't know about going on to Yums. Able to find a Minus Fury on the two straight, and I'm offended. And on another lockup, Stormy deals some damage. Innocent in the back line, gonna be caught. Able to flicker out from the Tempest of Blades. Tram again finding view. They're going for another Stormy with a flicker forward. Ogre gonna be taken down. Super Marco.
Oh, no.
He's bulletproof, but not anymore. Not to the claws.
Oh my goodness, this is on the Lord push as well. This was such a risky maneuver. Falcons AP.Bren, they needed to trade up here. This could be an inhibitor pretty quickly, but we'll see. The Lord's still knocking on the tier 2s. Falcons AP.Bren, they could diverge, they could divert.
A big Lord in the bottom lane. Holy defense used up, and the Lord is still full HP.
Oh my god, no way.
Now, I'm offended onto Flap, still going with a hammer, stolen real-world manipulation, format penalty zone into Calteezy's damage, but Cram deals with him. It's a killing spree as Calteezy picks up the blades. Now in the midst of it all, caught again, the glowing wanted, takes him down! Stormy finds the kill, it's another 2 for 1.
This is not like this, not like this. It was supposed to be an epic battle, it was supposed to be legendary, but now Selangor Red Giants have an insane economic lead onto Falcons AP.Bren. 6,000 gold on match point with an inhibitor missing on the bottom side for Falcons AP.Bren. I believe that Falcons can do it. They can bounce back, but we need to see a good final slash from Ogwin. He really needs to make it happen.
We're gonna have to see a perfect final slash. We're gonna have to see a magical one. All the words in the dictionary, that means miracle or something of the sorts. That's what Falcons AP.Bren have to do. When did you last see Falcons AP.Bren having to rely on something like that?
It's been too long. It's been too long, but you can definitely tell that the pressure is getting there. It's building up. The momentum is here, and Selangor Red Giants now hit their next item power spike. 41, by the time this Lord spawns, it's going to be 42. Let's have a look at the items real quick. Oracle, on top of the fact that Yums is about to purchase that Dominance Ice, making sure that, hey, Ogwin, you can't get away with anything anymore. Same goes for Super Marco, but then again, he's bulletproof. His positioning has been, honestly, pitch perfect until his front line crumbles.
It's very tough if your front line crumbles for a Harith to really look for anything in these skirmishes, because you're not really long range, you're in the fight. When you're in a fight, you are literally in it. You are in the midst of battle. And again, Ogre gets caught in the final slash, but it's not his. It's Stormy's. He stole it away from him.
Stormy is doing everything he possibly can to make SRG cross the finish line to create history. I'm gonna hold my breath here. I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself, but that is going to be a Luminous Lord for the side of SRG.
13-5, 13 minutes in Game 7 of the Grand Finals of MSC 2024. The region, the server that was once called Easy Skies, finds the Spear of Alpha, forces Calteezy back again, but take a look at the chase down now. He only used the Finch Poise. They tried to bait out the Tempest of Blades, but they didn't get him.
That's fine, that's fine. Good patience coming in from Calteezy. Selangor Red Giants, though, they're gonna have to crack open. This might be their one opportunity to actually set this up for a base crack. But we'll see. They can't overextend here.
Definitely not. I'm offended again onto Flapteezy now. With the Spear of Alpha, able to bring him back all the way. Yums in the midst of it all, finding the motivation roar to stay alive for so long. Few deals some damage still. Skies goes with a Flapteezy! Helping Ogwin there, finding the final stats as a stun as well on the Skies! base. And again, it's Calteezy who jumps over to Innocent. Cram buys the immortality. He fights all the way. Stormy trying to survive. Cram in the base. Few doing it as well, trying to go for the clear.
No, he's gonna try, but now Stormy's getting in the mix. Salmon Force has been dropped down.
Super Marco jumping forward now with the help of Few. Cram in the base, still looking for the play. Super Marco running away, Cram chasing him. He does still have the dash. He gets out of the I'm offended, kiting him away. Few helping him with the Ice Queen wand, ever slightly just slowing him for Falcons AP.Bren to survive.
I don't know. Cram had an opportunity to keep smacking the base just a little bit more, but if you look at his build tells you everything you need to know. He knows he doesn't have enough damage. He knows that the minion is a little too low to make it work, but on top of it all, he's just making sure he can live. Don't lose your resources just yet. He still has an active immortality. We'll wait. We're gonna re-engage later.
4,000 gold deficit. 2 base turrets down. Falcons AP.Bren, if there's a time for them to make the miracle play, it's now.
Brother, man, they nearly lost the game there. They nearly lost the game. It's 16-8 right now. And in terms of damage taken, both Yums and as well as Cram at the top of the charts. But finally, we are seeing that Falcons AP.Bren are scaling. And if the fight drags out too far, especially with Calteezy, he can easily clean up that backline, even if you have iframes.
Again, it all comes down to one fight. Despite this massive advantage, you can take a look at the turrets, you can take a look at the stats all you want, but it really comes down to one fight. Falcons AP.Bren, how were they even able to make that fight close?
I don't know. SRG, I mean, they missed their opportunity, unfortunately, to close out this game now. You got to give props where props is due. Falcons AP.Bren, they may be the final boss, but they won't make it easy for SRG. They're going to have to fight for every inch of space.
And that space is being utilized by Falcons AP.Bren. Again, despite these base turrets, luckily for Falcons AP.Bren, it sides with them. Despite that advantage for Selangor Red Giants, it's not in the far lane, that base turret. So for Falcons AP.Bren, they can constantly send the Ling up top, but they have to try to make a decision as well, because now SRG are forcing them.
Oh, SRG need to take their time. They can honestly reset this, right? Just wait for the waves to start crashing closer towards the enemy crystal, and then maybe consider your options at this point, right? They're holding it hostage once again. Look at this, and even Falcons AP.Bren, they know it. They're like, man, we gotta send somebody up there.
That's risky though for SRG if they continue to... Oh, they send the Hereth up top. Super Marco has been spotted up. Now with the sun on the crowd. It's going to be a spear of outbound the Fatizzi, but it all falls into the real Roman inflation. Yums still in the midst of it all, getting the knock-up view. Trying his best with the flanker backwards. Sky's chasing him down and gets the kill. Meanwhile, Super Marco dashing back and forth, trying to survive, trying to save the game. But Kyle, now he falls. It's just Master Ogwen, and he will lose his immortality. Another life, another chance, but that's a Stormy.
They've done it! They've done it! For the first time ever, Malaysia is on top!
It's over!
They have failed as individuals again and again, but together, mortals turn giants are invincible!
The Giants, who slew Titans, unbeatable, they said, invincible, they said. SRG are truly special.
This is an unimaginable moment for the region of MY. What a beautiful game that we got to witness here today.